this morning, but now it's cleared up. It's quite sunny, still very cold, but no, it's not too bad now at all.
And you came up last night, Alan. It was a bit damp, wasn't it?
Oh, it was damp. I got up here just at the end of the Martin final. I think it was a bit of a hell of a lot of rain then.
And I gather you didn't get into the early hours. You weren't up to no good, were you, Al?
Oh no, not up to no good. I was in some gayish sort of bar, spending lots of money on beer, but yeah, got in sort of the early hours.
Just looking at the first two games, Gary Ellis safely through. Jimmy Darby just struggled for a length. Neither of them actually dropped on the pace early on, did they, Alan?
No, not really. But Gary again just shows his quality. There was a few ends where he played a fantastic bowl. For the old famous two shot and things like that. He just obviously kept his nose in front.
And in the second game, it was top quality match, wasn't it? Paul Barley and Tommy Johnston.
Absolutely, really was. I mean, to be honest, I've seen Tommy play better. Paul, again, always up and at bowls. Never failed. There's a couple ends he had a little bit of luck. He fired and it sort of had a bit of side screw and took Tommy's bowl out, and then he come in off a short bowl on another end. But as you know, never up, never in with bowls, and that's one of Paul's attributes.
That's right. Sometimes you have to manufacture a score, don't you?
Yeah, certainly do.
Well, they're about to start the third game here. These two guys, both of them appearing in the first Waterloo final day. Danny Nixon from Wharton Cons in Cheshire and Andy Hayes from St Helens. Spoke to both of them yesterday. They're absolutely delighted to make a Waterloo final day, which I'm sure is an ambition of every player, isn't it, Alan?
Oh yeah, absolutely, it really is. He said, yeah, their sort of first appearance in this final day. They've both done very well to get here. I mean, Andy had a walkover on his first game. Was it James Grimston had to pull out for different reasons, and then he got through his second game against a very good friend of mine, Glyn Picknell, which was a closer sort of game, and Andy got out at the end.
Yeah. And Danny Nixon from Wharton Cons, he came back from 2016 down to defeat his teammate and former winner Glyn Cookston 21-20 to reach this stage. Young Danny won the toss. 5 on the card. Important to lay down the foundations with a good start, isn't it, Alan?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Yeah, Danny's he's led out there. 2 foot lead? Not so bad.
Yeah.
Little sort of 30 metre round peg.
Yeah. Well, just gone, has it?
Yeah, gone out the back, that has.
Yeah.
A lot of the players
checking.
saying it's quite soggy on the green, quite holding quite a bit.
Yeah, it's going to dry out a bit now. We've got the sun out.
Yeah, it's quite windy as well.
Well, this looks better here, Danny.
Yeah.
Good bowl.
Yeah, good second, made 2. Well, likes this. Oh, has he got the legs? Has he got the legs?
Well, they're looking hard at them.
Yeah,
it's falling over.
Last, yeah, just made it.
Just
yeah,
got
good
in.
Bowl.
Well, from Andy. Had a lot of support here. Andy SD from fellows from over St Helens Way, Merseyside, plays for Merseyside County. Quite noisy support he had yesterday, so I know he said he'll be hoping for the same bit of support today. He's edging into the corners, gone a long way. You probably watched Danny yesterday against Glyn. Danny played the short marks very well, along the edges.
Yeah. Well, his pace, not too bad. Yeah, decent lead, sort of foot 18-inch on the side.
Yeah. Yeah, be satisfied with that.
He will.
Yeah.
Well, Danny's still watching this. He looks slightly on the tight side. Yeah, and has just drifted off away to the toilets. Yeah, Andy just asking who's on there. We've got a little bit more advantage of view from up here.
Well, needs to run to get another.
Shout of run hard there. It always looked a bit short out of hand.
Yeah, Danny's just checking. He's asked the referee if it's 1 or 2. It's just the 1.
Yeah, gonna have a go.
He's having a fire at this.
What was he like yesterday at his firing, Mel?
I didn't see him have a fire actually. He's turned his back on that one pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really like some players fire that, is it? It's sort of almost like 3/4 pace.
That's right. It's not a Paul Barley fire as we saw in the previous game.
Yeah.
So it's 7-5 to Andy Hayes. He'd be satisfied with that, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Block in hand. Danny will be hoping to get on the scoreboard as soon as he can. While we're just speaking as well, just talk. I hope everybody's receiving this live stream from the Waterloo. Hope the pictures are coming through to you fine. Great atmosphere here. We must also thank Osprey Water Management and the Co-op Funeral Care who actually funding this live stream today to get the Globe Gig film crew here, and they're doing a fantastic job, and I hope everybody's enjoying this as much as we are. Now Andy's back into the corners. A little bit of room this time, Alan.
Yes, he has, yeah. He's a couple of foot short, yard wide, and you know, Mel, down in that corner, you come off land, they go down the spine and go either side. As here, Danny's gone slightly tight. Difficult corner, this one, the club shop corner. Well, Andy, he's watching it, he's after it. Yeah, he looks slightly better pace here. Oh, better land.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
ball.
good second bowl this is. Good bowl.
Yeah, he's a very experienced player, Andy. I think he's played quite a few games for Merseyside. Alan, isn't he?
He has, yes.
Now, Danny, can you run?
I think he's going to make a save here. Yeah, saved one.
And Danny Nixon has broke through into the Cheshire County side in the last few years, and he comes from good stock, coming from Wharton Cons, isn't he? Top club.
Yes, he does. I was talking to Roy earlier, and he said he's come through right the way up through the junior ranks. Plays for a very good side, and obviously progressed into the senior county side, and he's a regular with Cheshire.
And just down in front of us on the terraces, I can just spot his dad, Steve Nixon, with a top player. I'm not sure if Steve plays anymore these days, but I can see him there willing his lad on. Just wants to get him on the scoreboard. Another good lead from Andy. Just stuck it out of it.
Yeah.
Andy just settled a little bit quick, isn't he?
He has, yes. Yeah, I was just asking who's on. Yeah, he's on. Playing up for a second.
Yeah, just seeing Andy's played 60 games for Merseyside. That's good going, isn't it? You know, to play. He's obviously been in the side for a few years.
He has, yes.
So he's played at top level. Got round, made another.
Well, Danny he snatched the mat up there. He looks like he's too far. He's a little bit wide. Yeah. He didn't look happy once he'd let that go. I think he knew he was too far.
Not settled down yet, Danny. The occasions perhaps got to him a little bit. He had a good lead. He won the toss, had a good lead, saw it, got beat. He could be 2 down here.
Yeah.
Got the measurers on. And of course, you know, it's important with 5 on the card to get in straight away into a real sprint these games.
Oh, absolutely. With the 5 start, if somebody gets quite a good lead, yeah, another one to Andy Hayes. That's 9-5. So Danny yet to score here. As we know, they both start off 5. He's gone roughly the same distance again, Mel. It's got to be what, 40 metres, 45 metres?
Yeah, at least, yeah. He's not going to move, and he's got another good bowl here as Andy.
Yeah, pretty decent lead that. Probably a couple of foot. But as you said, down the club shop corner, that's a difficult corner, that is.
No, he likes this, Danny.
Has he got the legs?
Yes, he won it.
Yes. Yeah, well
just
goes
what he wanted, a good bowl.
Yeah, had a good waft after that.
Just the latest betting for people at home. Gary Ellis 4-6. Graham Wilson 7-4. They're the two favourites. Wilson's yet to play, of course. He comes on in the next game against Steve Freer. Now, Andrew, what you're doing is after this, watching it all the way.
Just on the low side. Yeah, turned it over. It's played 3 or 4 yards over, and he was just too low there.
Oh, Danny's waving this.
He's waving after it. Yeah, he's short here, I think.
Sure. He sent that a bit quick. It's important just to steady yourself, isn't it, Alan?
The amount of times, you know, yourselves is playing a lot, Mel. The amount of times when you're one on, you think, oh well, I'm one on, that'll do. And at the end of the game, you fall short of a couple of chalks. You think, you know, the game's all about getting your twos, especially when you've got the chance, especially in big games like this.
Well, he's got the jack in hand, 6-9. Just needs to settle now. 1 or 2 good leads. He can soon get back in the game, Alan.
Yeah.
Nice crowd building up here today as well.
Yeah, people have had their breakfast now. The stands are filling up a bit.
Danny's just left that, probably 4 feet short.
Yeah, he won't be happy with that lead. Yeah, Andy, decent reply there.
Good reply.
Yeah, excellent. See, a poor lead, as you know, is like that. You put yourself under pressure then for the second bowl. He's playing a little bit of a runner here. You know, he's left this wide open. I mean, really, Andy should get it quite an easy 2 here. And really poor second bowl there, Mel, with his first bowl being a yard or so away. Well, I don't know whether Andy's going to capitalise on this. I think he has. Yeah, quite an easy 2 there. Right, that's 11-6.
Yeah, 11-6 to Andy. He's going to go back into the other 2 corners. It's not really. Danny's got to be quite disappointed. I mean, he played so well yesterday. Just hasn't settled, has he?
Doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah. And Andy certainly does.
Yeah. Right, he's playing up to the pub corner. He's played a 2-foot lead there, 18-inch 2 foot, decent lead that is. Heaviest corner this one.
Yeah, he's caught Danny.
Yeah, he's not sent it. Yeah, he's played another decent bowl here, Andy.
Yeah, the good bowls. I mean, they're coming a good probably 50, 55 yards now. For the furthest mark they've set in this game.
Right, well, he's here this time. I think he's just on the tight side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 more to Andy here.
13-6. A bit of a runaway this is turning into.
Yeah,
Andy certainly settled better. But again, yesterday, Danny Nixon, he was 20-16 down and strung together 3 fantastic ends. He's going to have to do something like that again.
Here's Andy's looking diagonal across the green. He's going to go about the same distance down to the far corner. This is Roy said, I was talking to Roy earlier on before the game started, and he was just telling me his previous experiences on this green and different little bits about it. And this corner they've gone down there, one of them was must go on Jackland, cannot go low.
Oh, Danny, are you running? He's probably better land than Andy's, just left his short. Andy should be able to get round that, Alan. You can just get outside, go and add a finger peg. You can just get outside of it, you'll get another one. Oh,
well, is this
calamity.
a turning point? Is this a turning point? You put the kiss of death on that, Mel.
Yeah.
Surely you can get around that.
I think
you know, we all know as bowlers, you think, can't hit that from here.
No.
Can't hit that, surely.
Yeah, I fancy that, yeah. 55 yards away and
smack
in the back. I think Andy perhaps would be better off of turning his peg, Alan, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If he runs, Danny can make another. You're a runaway, lad.
Yeah, it ends like this where, you know, with him being so far behind, he's got to make his twos here. Don't think he has he? One.
I don't know where Danny will go from here, but yesterday when he finished up against Glyn Cookson, the position he's in now, he went along that west stand edge.
Yeah, the scorer's edge.
No, it's north stand, west stand, where they're standing.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Your geography is not your greatest thing, then, is it, Alan? I can tell. Yeah. Now he's decided to chop the green in two, keep Andy out the corners. Just going thumb bias just over the crown. Don't look so bad here.
No. Well, it's run through a couple of foot. Andy got to feel that he can beat that. Has he reached? Has he reached? No, he's left it a yard short.
Yeah, Keith Andrews, the referee, telling Danny he's in. Now Danny needs to keep off the short one this time.
Turned his peg, I think. Yes, he has. Wise choice. Well, he's made another. Again, 2 foot away.
Yeah, disappointed with that, Danny.
Yeah.
Andy's only got to pass his own.
Yeah, length bowl here. We'll get him. Yeah, which he's done.
One more to Andy Hayes, 14-7. Needed to improve, Danny, with his second bowl there.
Yeah, definitely. And again, just lacking a little bit of confidence here. Right, Andy going down into the shop corner.
Yeah, just
30-ish metres, something like that.
Aiming to get back into the corner.
Yeah, waving at it. Not happy with that lead.
Yeah, slap on the thigh.
Yeah, left it a yard short.
It's not short.
Yeah, they run away. Once they've got by the jack here, they run away and run away. I think that's gone out the back. Not sure.
Andy's not asked, but there's no real danger. Now all he's got to do is just improve on his lead, and he has done.
Yeah, yeah, good reply here.
He's bowling to his Merseyside contingent. They're all in that corner. Danny didn't get this away very well.
He hasn't sent this at all. I don't know whether he didn't ask whether it was one or two. Not sure, but that is a poor second bowl. Yeah, he's looking. He's asking for him, Andy is.
Yeah, Andy clearly fancies his own, but Danny's having a measure. Might be a bad thing, just to make sure and just.
But again, there, you know, I didn't see him ask Mel whether it was one or two. He got one by the side of the jack. You know, you'd have fancied maybe playing a runner at that. But instead, you know, he's bowled up, trying to bowl with weight, and actually left it short. You know, as you know, in this game, Mel, sacrilege, isn't it? You know, when you're one down, or even two down, you play an absolute nothing bowl. Yeah, quite easy too. 16-7. Well,
you just can't see any way back for Danny Nixon in this game, really. But it's all about getting to 21 first, isn't it, Alan?
It is. Yeah, I mean, this far in the competition, I mean, any score, you know. Well, he's gone virtually full corners here. Yeah, left this a good yard or so short. Danny's played here. Again, it's going to win the end.
Well, it's
Just
not a
looking
bad
little bit
ball for
tight.
the distance,
No.
really. Well, this is further. It could go out,
Too
miss it.
far.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone out the back, that is.
No, must make two this
Yeah.
time, Danny.
Yeah, if he's going to make some headway, he needs to get another air. He's got, you know, a good yard and a half all around that block to make another. I'm not sure he sent this, Mel. He hasn't.
Again, you just need to snatch at it,
Yeah,
Danny.
he
and
did, yeah.
Sometimes it's just too easy, isn't it? You think, oh,
Yeah,
anywhere for two, and just
yeah.
send it,
And
and it
then
don't happen.
you're slapping your thigh, and again, you know, when you get near to the end of a game and you're struggling for a couple of chalks, you always look back at ends like that.
Well, that's twice he should have made a double now.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be happy to get the jack in his hand. Needs a lead now. He's not had one so far.
No.
8-16, Danny Nixon. Needs to run a bit. He's left him another 4 or 5 feet of room there. And Andy's punished it.
It is, Mel, you know, it's a poor lead again. Well, better here. Better yet,
Yeah,
just sat
good
on
ball,
the back
Danny.
ball. Yeah. Right, Andy played. Well, he's up to the end. Is he a little bit tight? Yeah, just off land a bit.
One more to Danny. Might just settle him down, Alan, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
You know? First time
Well,
he's held the jack.
Yeah, first time he's held the jack. I mean, now he's got away with that after again a very poor lead. I think he concentrate here and set a mark. He's going back over to that corner, same distance.
I think this is Danny's favourite sort of length. He's got that little short, snatchy delivery.
Yeah.
And of course he comes off Wharton Cons Green, which is a superb green. Not the biggest of greens, but lovely green to play. Now, Andy looks to be labouring a bit.
Yeah.
No, must improve, Danny.
Yeah, it looks all right here. Yeah. The second bowl,
Good ball.
it's better.
Nice applause from the crowd.
Right then. Is Andy going to reply to this? He looks like he's weighing up. Maybe having a strike at this.
He just had a glance at the scoreboard.
No.
I think he's
just
turned his
playing up.
peg.
He's turned his peg and he's playing a yard or so over.
He's still watching it.
He's still watching. Gone through the gap.
Two more.
Well
Game on again here.
yes, it is.
11-16.
11-16 and a few ends there where we've just gone on about where Danny could have had a couple of extras. It was almost a level game. Well, different game now. Was this sort of the length he was playing yesterday then?
Yeah, this is his favourite length. Yeah, he finished off along an edge against Glyn Cookson, but he seems to like these sort of lengths. You know, 25-30 yard mark.
Yeah.
Just off the side of the crown. Bowling now from across to the west stand. Reasonable lead.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, decent lead that. Foot or so on the side, that's what it looks from here.
His dad there, you can see him. He's twitchy down on the terrace. Is Stevie Nixon there? He's in front of us. Standing all alone.
Right, Andy's beating Danny's bowl there. Right, Danny, what's your reply?
Well, he's
Well, he's at the end. He's at the end. He's Got out the back. Yeah, good first bowl there by Andy. Put the pressure back on to Danny.
Not sure he's going to make another one.
No.
Well short.
Yeah, 1 to Andy Hayes. That's 17-11.
And he's back where he wanted to be. He's in a corner.
Yeah.
He's gonna be coming up this heavy corner up to the hotel.
Yeah, never looked anywhere else, did he?
No, here we go. Finger peg and the crown. And of course the winner of this game will be playing the last of the quarterfinals, which will be coming on shortly. Graham Wilson against Stevie Freer.
Yeah, I was talking to Steve last night. He after qualifying yesterday, he then went off and watched the Blackpool Coventry.
Blackpool and Middlesbrough, isn't it?
Middlesbrough, sorry.
Yeah,
game.
4-1. Well,
What a
good
reply
bowl.
that is from Danny. Best bowl of the day.
Yeah, good win for Blackpool, 4-1. And Stevie went and had an evening at the football. Strong Villa fan, Steve, so it makes a change for him to see some goals, Alan, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, he said it was good. Come back in and sort of asked how he was feeling today. He said he's well up for it. He was talking through his game against Wayne Ditchfield.
Oh, we got another one here, Danny.
He has, yes. 2 excellent bowls, them. Excellent bowls. Yeah, good replies, them.
Yeah,
Game back on again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve was telling us his game with Wayne Ditchfield about him trying to hurry him up, waving at him down there, and obviously Wayne trying to slow him down. And
well, one thing you'll never do is slow down Stevie Freer.
oh no,
Had a good chat with him yesterday after he won. I told him to have an early night and keep off the beer and everything. And
yeah, he certainly wasn't on any drinking any beer last night.
Danny's urging this on. Danny's now showing a bit more confidence now as he's back in the game. Look, he's following his bowls up, having a little jog after them.
Yeah, Andy, that's half decent reply. It's won the end. Probably 18-inch 2 foot past the jack. Danny's a sort of yard to the side.
They look good in the Taylor Bell shirt as well. They look smart
They
everywhere
do,
today, don't they?
Yeah.
Not so sure about Andy Hayes in a blue one though. He's a United fan.
Yeah.
I think, is he? I don't know. Danny, isn't he? He was telling me.
Yeah, Danny. Yeah, his other hobby's football. As it states here, Man United fan.
And he's in a blue and white shirt. And Andy's saying any sports fanatic, Andy Hayes.
Yeah, just loves it.
Bowls for Eccleston, Merseyside.
Right, that's 1 to Andy. That's 18-13.
Yeah, and he's just 2 good ends, and he's in a semi-final of a Waterloo.
Yeah, coming straight back down this corner, not looked anywhere else. The only thought in his mind. Well, I say that he's come back into this corner, but he's shortened the length. Probably about 35 metres. Watching it. Pace looks okay here, Mel. Yeah, it's a good lead here.
Be satisfied with that.
Yeah, foot at the back. Well, Danny's watching this. He looks slightly tight here. Yeah, and is.
And he makes another. There's real pressure on Danny now. Gets 2 in, it'll put him on 20.
Has he sent it? Has he? Not sure. Danny's asking, is it 1 or 2? Yeah, only 1. Lead bowl is counting. What's he going to do, Mel? Is he going to try and play weight? Is he going to fire?
I think the referee's a bit confused. Danny's asked if it's 2, and the referee's just pointed to the one of the nearest. Andy fancies 2, I think.
No, it's just played up.
Well, he's just stuck it out a little bit wide. Not get back from there. May have just settled it for the second.
Maybe.
Well, they're still looking out. Call for pegs. Well, the spread around looks like a Isle of Man flag. That on
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Took the Isle of Man. A few of their lads have been here this week. A couple of them were playing in it. John Kennish and something. John Kennish did well at the Martin. He was in the finals last night. Didn't quite win it. Won by Simon Cope, who's just standing down here below us in a very waterlogged Martin Institute last night.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, he's standing there talking with Tommy Johnson. He's already got his first point of the day.
Yeah, good to see another one of the famous players from the past down below us. About Norman Fletcher, what a player he was. Him and Duncan, for me, the best bowls pairs ever.
Best bowl pairs ever. Better than Mel and Lynn.
Yeah. I don't think we'd cope with them two at the peak. Best pair I've ever seen playing together.
Yeah, yeah.
Good lead again from Andy. He's on 19, 2 shots away from the semi-final. The Osprey Waterloo.
Don't think Danny sent this. He hasn't.
No.
Left it short. He's put a lot of pressure on himself now. Andy'll want to put another here. Really put the pressure on Danny. He'll be line game on. Has he sent it?
Oh, Andy.
Oh, Mel. He hasn't sent this.
Oh, what a let-off
Oh,
that is.
yes. Right.
That
Again,
may
will he just play with weight, or will he fire? I mean, Andy's lead is what, from here, foot away, maybe just over.
Well, he can't afford to fire because the danger he could take his own bowl. He's just played at it with pace. Well, he's still watching it.
He is.
Needs
Still
to pick
watching
something up.
Gone through the
Good
gap.
effort.
Right, that's 20-13. Andy Hayes. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe one end away from the semi-final of the Waterloo.
I think Andy just sent his second bowl too quick. I think you can just think I'm nearly
Warm
there,
in.
can't
Yeah,
you?
I'm home.
Yeah. I think that's the difference between some of these guys appearing for the first time and the Gary Ellises, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, yeah.
He's coming back to us again. Can't blame him. He played a real good lead here the last end. Gone a little bit further. Coming down to the edge here. Straight in front of the great Brian Duncan. Oh, he's not so bad with this.
Yeah.
Not so bad at all, this.
Well, it's pulled up, maybe just under a metre short, but over that distance, not a, as we say in bowls term, not a daft lead. That.
Danny
He's just on the tight side, isn't he? He'll run away. This will.
Yeah, he's copped him tight both times.
Yeah.
His previous end the same, isn't it? Looks to have gone out that one. Better.
Yeah, further.
Better. Well,
Yeah,
this is
line
it for
game
Danny
on.
now. Well, he set it off a little bit wide. I'm
I
not
think
sure
he's
where
in, Mel.
pace. Not coming.
No, not here.
Oh, he's left it.
That does not reach.
Left it. The big roar from the Merseyside contingent. Well bowled Andy,
Indeed.
and that's it.
Yeah, he showed odd patches there, Danny, but you know, again, last end there, he's one down, and he's bowled it short.
So
90.
21-13 victory for Andy Hayes from St Helens. Yeah, we've seen it for many a year, haven't we? You know. 1 year I lost in the semi-final. It was won by Mick Jagger. Rank outside on the day.
He was top of the pops.
Yeah. He got some satisfaction that day, did Mick?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
How's this game going to go then, Mel? What sort of tactics do they play?
Stevie Freer likes to play these sort of round peg marks, 35, 40 yards. He's won the toss, straight where he wants to go. This is where he started yesterday. Same mark against Wayne Ditchfield. And this is what Steve wants. Must get off to a good start.
It is a tactical game, isn't it? You know, players, know all about it. Spectators who follow the game know all about it. Those who don't know about the game, that's a big part of it. You know, you'll have your own strengths, and you've got to try and use them and exploit your opponent's weaknesses.
Well, Graham's punished his lead straight. What a good bowl that is. Stevie, for such a quick player, gets on with it.
Well, Wilson, I just heard your interview, pre-match.
Well, he's trying here, Stevie. Oh, what a great bowl.
Terrific bowl. That'll give him great confidence. But as just going back to, you were speaking to Wilson before the tournament got underway. You know, he said he hadn't been playing as much, but he fancied his chances today, and now he's going to be really tested with an opening end like this.
Well, he's watching it, Graham. Still watching it. Still watching it. Oh. On to Steve. Well,
I'll tell you what, that was a perfect ball if it come off, because right speed, everything right connection, and Wilson counts. It didn't come off, and Freer's got the first one on the board.
Yeah. Well, if that's a taste of what to come in for a cracking game.
He must be a Burnley supporter as well, Steve Freer, in that colour.
No, well, he's claret and blue is a villain. He's Steve, so he's got the claret bit of there, I think, in the shirt. So anyway, off he goes. This is where he was. This is his mark. He did Ditchfield on yesterday.
Yeah, that was a good win. I was looking at the people who were coming through the tournament throughout the week, and Wayne Ditchfield, of course, has won the Junior Waterloo here a few occasions, and really fancied he got a chance, Ditchfield, but he turned him over, Freer.
Well, Stevie, you like this one, Steve. Run away, lad. Good un. Good un.
He means business, Mel.
No, you always mean business, Steve. You don't win Warwick Muster made it 3 times if you can't play.
You've not put a little wager on him, have you? About 14 to 1?
No, not
by any chance? The odds are going down. They're taking off quickly. They're 10 to 1. Wilson's close with that. That's a great response. I don't think he's won it.
That's Steve's ball. Not even asked. It's on his way. Don't mess about, Stevie.
Well, if he's playing up for 2, he really is full of confidence, and he looks so he's going to do it.
No.
Well, the jacks fell down, and I think it's gone in Wilson's favour. I think he's played a crucial ball there that's cost him.
A big jump in the air from Stevie. Aye.
That was dangerous, Mel, to go up like that. Now he could have just knocked it in the favour. He's looking.
Well, Graham will come and look for himself.
I said he's in. He's gone to his own free, but Wilson's going to.
He's a good judge, Steve.
Do the professional business. Come across the green, 50 yards. Not in any rush. It's early stages of the game. 6-5er, first end done and dusted. Good opening end. And
Stevie will get the crowd going as well.
Oh, well, I like that.
You can see that, can't you, there?
Those are the days of the Vernon Lees and the people like that, the Jackie Hunts of this world. They were real entertainers. Jimmy Hadfield, I used to love watching them players. You're talking about the man down the front there, Brian Duncan and Norman Fletcher. Well, Fletcher and Duncan, you're dead right.
Yeah.
When they played together, they were the dynamic duo.
Yeah. But Steve is so hyped up and he's so enthusiastic, and you just let him loose.
Well, there's a good target here. If it goes right for Wilson, he can make him count his first scores of the quarterfinals. He hasn't played through. He's played just a dead length pace, and in fact, I don't know whether he's there.
Looks tight, yeah.
Now he went up and have a look.
Yeah, does he fancy his own? I mean, I was expecting Graham to play at least a yard on there.
Well, we'll find out who's the best judge, Mel, because they're only about 3 inches either side of the jack from where we are in our commentary position in this Osprey Waterloo Championship final. Last quarter-final match as well, and then a break. Lunch break, still have lunch breaks, do they?
Yeah, having a lunch break, probably be a 45-minute break. You've got your VIP golden band, haven't you?
I've got pink, and now I'm on gold. But it used to be a rush to the chipper years ago when the 3,000 crowds are here and it's packed out, and it used to be get out a little bit before the end of the last quarter final to get in the chip shop queue.
No, you're right. You've got your golden VIP band. It's like something from Willy Wonka, isn't it, or something?
What's next colours you giving us? We haven't got any more, have we got upon? We don't have to wear a headband, do we?
No, let's get back to the ball. Stevie Free was right. Graham conceded. 7-5 to Steve.
Looks to be short here.
Yeah. Urging it on, look. Waving it on, Steve.
Well, the green's going to quicken up though, Mel. It's drying out, by the hour. This wins it.
Yeah, it's a good ball, Graham. No, a real good ball.
They've been close, all ends they played early doors, but it looks as though the quality's showing through from two very, very good players, two real good standard bowlers. Now he's 40 years of age.
He's not sent this, Steve. Not sent it.
No, he'll get two here, Wilson. This will tell you how good he is.
Simple two, yeah.
Well, he's 40 years of age. You know, he was made 7-4 second favourite at the off. Has never won the Waterloo. The one major title that has eluded him. Gets his first score double of this quarter-final, and we're level at 7-all.
Yeah, I think we were going a long way now, Graham.
He looks relaxed to me, Wilson. You know, he does look as though how he's approached it. He's approaching it differently, and you know, he's had a change to his lifestyle and working himself back into the game. And I think with Gary Ellis being a big favourite to win it, actually the pressure's really off G.I. Wilson.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the one major event he's not won. He's been in several final days. He's lost in the final on one occasion, and this year he's had a fairly quiet season as Graham, but I was talking to him yesterday. He said he feels really relaxed coming into this. He's not played as many competitions, and that's what you call a relaxed bowl, I think.
Well, the crowd are just warming to him, aren't they? You know, he's gone 70 yards down the green, played one 6 inches to the side. This looks to be a little bit on the road, but short.
Short, yeah, he's urging it on, Steve. Good to see a few from Warwick Worcester in the crowd have made the trip up today to support Stevie.
Well, the good thing about this competition, Mel, it's been going for all these years, since when it started back in, I think, about 1907. The crowds have come from all over the country. They make a day of it, and of course you've got the champion of champions when they're coming up on the coach trips, supporting their own players who are all into that major tournament.
Well, what's happening? What's this now? Steve's watching. He's played up at it. Still watching it.
He's
still watching it.
Done it. What a great hit.
Yeah. A leap up in the air from Steve.
I tell you what, I hope he goes to the gym every day, because he'll have to be a fit player to continue this, to get all the way through this competition. Now he's played, he's 100 miles an hour, he's jumping up and down, and well, when you make balls like that and make them count, that gives you even more confidence. You know, Graham Wilson was just getting ready to take those chalks and put himself in front, and he's taking the jack off the green. So no score there, dead end as they call it.
7-all. I'm sure those from Birmingham haven't been able to make the trip, particularly from his club, Bolton St Michael's, and we're back at home watching it. Probably sneaking in the office at work, looking at the computers.
Go back to 2002, of course, when Graham Wilson reached the final. Stan Frith, of course, another one of the all-time greats. You know, terrific career. Stan Frith beat him in the 2002 final, but here he's played another excellent lead for the distance.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's settled into the game as GI.
Gary Ellis is just walking around now with his wife, going off for an early break, get away from the crowd. That's what one or two of them used to do years ago, Mel, you know. Right. Used to take themselves away, away from talking to people and get themselves fully focused. And I think that's what you need to do when in these big events.
Yeah, you're right. I remember talking to Andy Cairns the year he won it, and he said he played his game and went to walk down the promenade or something and away from it all.
Or is he coming now? Look at the bookies. He's coming across the front of the bootmaker stand, as I used to call it. What's he doing?
Steve's after this. He's after it. Needs to pick the jack up. Just gone out. One more to Graham. Edging in front, 8-7. Good effort from Steve.
Yeah, he needs to break him. He needs to not allow him a consistent run in the corners, Wilson, because he's found his length now. You know, he just needed that strike the end before the last one to take off Wilson, not counting any points. He played some good balls, and he played through Freer, which he had to do, and it was hit for him. Sometimes they don't always hit, and if your opponent's chalking up and getting his length right, it soon gets to 21 when you're playing off 6.
And Graham's playing this mark, the same bias, the same sort of length that Brian Duncan used to play, Graham, if you notice. More or less the same position.
Always thought if you were a master on the corner play, Mel, I know Gary Ellis is a master at all of it, but if you were a master on the corner play, you could win more games than you'd lose.
That's right.
Better road, but not going to reach, I don't think.
Just left it, probably 4 feet short, Stevie. What about this delivery of Graham Wilson's as well?
Oh,
Rolls Royce
superb.
delivery.
Rolls Royce, great,
Yeah.
great line.
Best delivery in the game, I think.
Well, Gary Ellis' technique is unusual, isn't it? I haven't seen many like how he bowls them.
Ellis shuffle.
The
Yeah.
Ellis shuffle, yeah.
If I could win as much as him, I'd do it.
Oh. Has he reached Mel?
No, not sent it again, Steve. No, you must reach the.
He's definitely
must
one
reach.
down. He could have given away 2 cheap ones here. I'm not sure it is 2, but there was room to get in, and he should have been getting in. Well, he's taking 1 out, Wilson. He's not give up. He might get a double here. There'll be a cheap double for me. Or referee's saying.
Stevie should have certainly passed his first.
Or referee's called the measures on.
Yeah, I'm just having a measure. Neither player seems to have indicated anything.
Gone to the. Usually say when you go to the first one, that's usually the favourite, and they've gone to the back one first. And it's 2. Very, very cheap 2. Disappointing for Steve Freer, that Mel.
Yeah, 10-7 to Graham. Stevie needs to get in. Can't allow him to settle down.
No,
Graham.
43 years of age, of course. Freer, he knows it all about it. But he knows he's up against, one of the best in the game, and he's got to break him.
Wilson still 6-4 at the moment for the title. As we said earlier, Graham's sort of fairly well placed in the draw this time, with 3 players in his half, and it's their first experience of Waterloo final day. But don't always work out like that.
No, it doesn't. But he'll be very, very disappointed, Graham Wilson, if he didn't win the bottom half. Very, very disappointed. He's leading with a good length, but Steve Freer quietly fancies this. He's watching it. He knows he's on a good road, Mel.
Good
He's
ball
played
coming in here. He's got a lot of support in the crowd, Stevie.
Best judges in the game, aren't they?
Yeah.
Some characters down here, though, Mel, when I look down in front of us and from yesteryear. Can't win it, Wilson. Can he make 2 now?
Yeah, there's a few great characters looking down from above these days as well.
Yeah, there is.
The Freddie Ewan and people like tremendous characters.
Yeah, some terrific bowlers. King Dennis.
Yeah,
Gets
run
2.
Again.
Gets
He's
2.
made another. Oh, good bowl, Stevie. 9-10. Now then, we're going finger peg across to the middle of the north stand, back to his favourite place. Well, I got that one wrong. He sent Graham straight back in the corners.
It's about like me saying that crew would never be involved in a 0-0 draw, Mel. 2 and 3.
Well, I didn't expect that, but Stevie Freeze chucked Graham back in exactly the same place as where he come from, but he's gone the other peg.
Well, he doesn't look bad to me.
No, he's got a good lead.
He doesn't look bad to me. You know, the crowd's saying it's all right, that.
Yeah, Carl Fielding, just standing up there, shouting to Stevie. He's Warwick and Worcester teammate. It's all right, Stevie. See Anthony Bracken down there as well. Another one of the.
This is better road, Mel, if it's there. This is a better road if it's there. Give up.
Give up.
Players are enjoying it. The spectators are enjoying it. The weather's kind to them.
Stevie Free is certainly enjoying it. After this one, Steve.
I might be up the promenade myself, Mel, at lunch with my shorts on. Get a bit of suntan on me.
That should clear the beach.
Now I've got to behave.
Yeah, wife's turned up.
Well, he's on a road if he can get there. I'm not sure he's there.
He may not have saved. 2 to Freer. 11-10. Huh?
Well, that was a good decision, Mel. You know, you said he surprised you there, Steve Freer, going back in the corner, but he went the other peg. He's got himself 2, and he's got back. He's clawed his deficit back. In fact, he's even done better than that. He's gone in front. He leads 11-10.
Well, he's coming back now. He's back onto his sort of favoured length. He's coming round peg, round the crown, right over the top of the crown, right? Finger bias.
Well, he's not frightened to go around the green, is he?
Yeah, he's not frightened to go anywhere. I was really surprised.
I'll tip this one to be a good one, Mel.
Well, he's a good in here. Oh, what a bowl!
The bookies are wanting Wilson out of the way. I think they're wanting. Well, I think they're wanting an upset.
Well, I've spoke to 2 of the bookies, and they said that Graham was the only loser for him in this field of 8.
What about this one, Mel? What about this one, Mel?
And the gap. Yeah, then can Stevie make another? You know, to Graham Wilson, he's always on land, Graham, isn't he?
Well, he's up again. He's
Got
getting
another?
2. Oh, he's getting 2. Might even be closer than the first one. He's giving it a shout. He's talking to it. I think he's got names for his balls there, Mel.
Yeah.
Jack and Jill.
No, it'll be Aston and Villa for Stevie. Now Graham's coming at it to the peg with pace. He's still watching it. It's close. It's close. Underneath. 2 more to Steve. 13-10.
Now then, this is interesting. 2 doubles. And I was talking to you earlier in commentary. What I think that's the difference in the game. Get doubles, and all of a sudden, you know, you've got advantage on your opponent. You've got some leeway. You're not going to win every end. But those 2 doubles now that he's just chalked up has got Graham Wilson thinking. I wonder what he is thinking. What do you think's going through his mind now, Wilson?
I don't know. I mean, Graham's top pro, isn't he? He'll just be settling down, just be knowing, well, that's the end of that end. Get on to the next one. But did you watch Stevie there? He just couldn't wait for Graham to get up to the mat. He just wanted to pick it up and send it.
But does this never win in the Waterloo enter his head, do you think, Wilson?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's a top player, and yes, he wants to win the Waterloo. Graham obviously is big as much as anybody does, and he'll just keep playing his game. But I say, Stevie is so hyped up for this game. He just can't keep still.
He's played one here, Wilson.
Great ball. Yeah, unflappable is Graham.
Class.
Totally unflappable.
Does he strike? Yes.
Yeah, firing.
Dangerous.
Nice to see there, Steve. Turn to Graham, say good ball, Graham.
This is dangerous, Mel.
He's not playing with a lot of pace.
Because he could get closer to his own and leave it wide open. That was off an inch away from shifting Wilson's winning ball and leaving his own on. Wilson's quickly looking for 2.
Oh, he's a little bit big. Oh, it's gone out, I think.
There's a big cheer for the left-hand side. Come on, Graham. So they might be a bit anxious, the White Rose.
Yeah, well, he's got 1. Should have made 2. 11-13. But a good touch there. Graham plays that touch. Stevie turns round and says, good ball, Graham. Nice to see, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the game's well sported by all of you players. I don't think there's any real, you know, bad feeling in the game. There shouldn't be anyway. It's a terrific sport to be involved in. You know, people think it's easy as well, Mel. Yeah. That's what used to make me smile. They used to think it's easy to play. Tell you what, you get on a crown green bowling green.
Was you a good loser, Graham?
I was always a good loser. Yeah.
Well, you get used to it, didn't you?
I wanted to win. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, good competitor you were. But we've had a few run-ins over the years.
I wanted to win. But you've got to accept, you know, you've got to lose well. Got to be a good loser to be a good winner, I always say.
Yeah, perfectly correct. Stevie just run out there.
Wilson going to be looking to get any other corner then, do you think, Mel, if he counts this end?
Trying to swap the corners, yeah. Got a good ball again here, made 2.
He might have another go, you know. It's a big target. He might have another go. He's weighing it up, dusting his ball down, thinking about it. No, he hasn't signalled he's going to strike.
No, Steve will go for the jack. He'll go play at the jack, try and make 2. He's got the back bowl. Watching it.
Well, he got one out of the way.
Oh, he's saved.
Yeah, keeps his slender lead. Doesn't go 13 all, goes 12-13 now, and he wasn't far away. Right pace. If he'd have got a little bit of luck there, you know, Paul Bailey, of course, had it in his game.
He did.
When he played through against Tommy Johnson, it went his way. But this time it didn't go the way of Steve Freer.
Well, good saver for Steve.
Freer will be delighted that you know, he's up there. He's in with him. He's in with the bookie's second favourite, the hot favourite. He could easily win it, Graham Wilson. He could easily be the winner. So Freer will be well satisfied with his opening part of the match. No doubt about that.
Yeah, and Graham's coming across to us now. Coming probably a full 45, 50 yards. Just on the edge of the crown. He's coming at it thumb by us. Got a good length bow. Not the easiest to mark. We saw D Nixon in the previous game. Kept coming tight on this mark against Andy Hayes. Well, Steve's not come tight. Good land here. Just needs the weight. Needs to peg. Wins it. Wins it. Yeah, what a good ball.
Oh, great ball. Great ball. He got a round of applause from all four sides of the green there, Mel. And Graham Wilson's going to have to look at where it sits, where it lies, and what sort of second ball he's going to play.
He's finished in a good position. He's just gone round the back. He's not on the side.
Has he won it?
Wagging the crowd shouts, has it won it?
It won it 3 weeks ago. Andy Cairns still hasn't taken that dress off, Mel, when you get him in the later stages of the commentary.
Yeah, he'll be up in the commentary box. We'll have to get a picture of him that. Now then.
Done something.
Oh, no, beneath.
Played at it.
Not Steve on its way.
Came in finger pegged, didn't he?
He's a little bit tighter with this one, Steve.
Not here either.
Not making the trip. Oh, one more to Freer. 14-12. Good effort to Graham's there.
It was. Came at it finger pegged, clipped it out, leaves his own ball in. But Steve Freer has a big blowout, has a torch himself, strides across the green very quickly.
He won't hang about. He'll pick this jack
Look at that. Down goes the match. Should have made two.
Don't think twice. Here we go, look. None of this messing about with Stevie. Just give me that jack.
Get the game played at a good pace. Keep the crowd on the toes. No doubt about it. Anyway, this is a different area Mel has gone into. He's going to look to change his variation, I think, if he can get in this end. I think we're going to see a new part of the green. But is he going off the green with his first lead?
Oh, he's sent it off. Yeah.
Bad
yeah,
lead.
I think tactically, I think Steve's trying to use the green. If you notice, every time he's picked it up, he's gone a different place. You can't allow Graham Wilson to settle on one mark.
Well, he hasn't got a good lead ball, Wilson, so he has give Freer a chance to rectify his first ball that's in the ditch and can't count anything. Has he got a clear run or has he hit him? Well, he's just about done it.
Ooh, can he stop on? Just stopped on the green. Oh, just breathed out there. Somebody just shouted, have you got chewing gum on that for you?
I like that one. Wilson's on a completely different land, but looks to be going past the jack and pegging tight. Freer won.
Freer.
That's a 3-shot advantage, Mel, at 15-12.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be interested where he uses the green now, because this is the first time really from where he is, middle of the green, to the left-hand side as you look out from the main pub. Well, does he go straight down the middle?
He's going to go somewhere we haven't been. Every mark he's set, he's not letting Graham settle. Don't know if that's part of his plan or what. He knows that Graham knows the green better than him, and he's just got to try and get around it, use the jack, get good leads in.
If he catches the scalp, Mel, of Graham Wilson, I think 14-1 that he was on at the off was a great price, because the Midlands lads will be on him.
Yeah, he's got a great lead. A lot of the Midland lads are already on Stevie. There's quite a bit of Warwick and Worcester money on him, I can tell you that.
This is better road, Mel. This is better road if it's there. It's won it. I think it's won it on the road.
Oh. I'm not sure. I think it's give up.
Yeah.
Carl Fielding from Warwick and Worcester standing behind it.
Yeah, he's pointed straight away to his teammate.
Yes. Carl Fielding
2
in the stand. He can't
nearest
down.
this.
Another
Nearest.
Yeah, I keep my eye on Carl Fielding. He's up, he's down.
Oh,
he's
look
up,
at
he's down.
He had a good run in the tournament as well, Mel.
He did, yeah.
Well, Wilson's played up and he's on the land.
Yeah.
This could be a ball and a half. Good saver.
Oh, great effort.
Good
Save one.
saver. And that's the difference. You know, would have needed a perfect ball to count, but he stopped his other one. But he's got a 4-shot advantage.
Yeah, just speaking about Warwick and Worcester, so they won the county championship.
Yeah, brilliant.
Good to see that they're a great unit. Don't matter which team they play for, whether it's the Greville, King George, King's Heath, Boldmere, they all support one another. It's good to see.
Yeah, I've had some good battles up in the Warwick and Worcester land. Certain Mr. Shepherd.
Yeah, he's here today, Dave
Is
Shepherd.
he? Is he?
He's in the crowd here, yeah.
Right, brilliant.
Regular visitor to
Yeah,
Waterloo.
he was a top player.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think of the other lad who used to be his mate. Big lad. Big tall lad. Was a bit of a character, ran him in and got amongst them.
Yeah, Ray Lewis with his name.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, then 16-12.
I like that.
Another good lead again.
And a different, again, you're right, Mel, he's definitely not sticking to one part of the green. He's making Wilson think everywhere he sent the jack out, he's making him think now. If Wilson's got the length here, he wins it. For me, might have gone out.
Well, there's a round of applause.
Yeah, there is a round of applause. The referee didn't make any decision.
Steve hasn't asked anyway. Just want to send his ball. Tight.
Wilson's in. That was... No, hold on. What are they saying? Yeah, Wilson's in.
Yep.
I think Steve Freer might have made a bit of a mistake there, Mel. I think he should have been asking.
Well, there's no real danger for him anyway. I mean, I'm sure Steve went up just to
put this too wide, hasn't he?
But the referee there, Evelyn, is a good referee. I'm sure she'll be right.
Yeah, Steve Freer conceded.
13-16. Graham.
And on the balance of play for me, I'm just heading towards a Freer victory and a Freer upset. Probably won't be an upset to you, Mel, because you know all about him, you know how he's playing. But on tournament wins and big game players, well, and the bookies as well, they were all tipping Wilson to do it. But how it stands at the moment, for me, Freer's favourites.
And don't forget, the winner of this game plays Andy Hayes, and I'm sure that both of these guys would sooner be playing in this half the draw than facing Gary Ellis in the other one.
Yeah, and Andy Hayes will probably say the same thing.
He will, right. Exactly the same, yeah.
This is not a bad lead, Mel.
No, good bowl. So it's 13-16 Wilson. He's gone deep into the corners, into the heaviest corner. He might just catch Steve short here. Yeah, he has done as well.
Oh, that's interesting. You knew that, didn't you? Straight away. Experience that you know of this green. He's just gone a different area, a bit further, heavier part of it. And Wilson will be looking to get two good ones here and be right back in it. And he's played two.
Yeah, better than his first. Yeah, Steve, some 2 yards short. Good bowl, Graham, that.
Well, he's launched this one. That's a certainty. He has launched it. He's not going to be short with this, surely.
Are you sure? Heavy part of the green.
Is he?
Not reached.
Oh, you're right.
2 to Wilson.
Well, he let himself go there off the mat, so he really let it go with his action. And he wouldn't have saved if he'd have missed his own anyway. Good now then.
Tactics from Graham. Good green knowledge there. 15-16. He's gone. It's probably the furthest mark they've set in this game, and he's caught Steve. A little bit quicker going the other way. I'm sure Graham will want to go right deep into the corners. Just got to be careful not to send Jack off. 15-16 Wilson game on.
It is. When it looks as though Steve Freer had got an advantage, now all of a sudden we are going the Duncan marks of yesteryear, as far as you can in the corners.
This is a long way now. Got maybe 60 yards, Graham. This
Look at that for that delivery. See that? Perfect.
And so with
beautiful.
With Graham as well, his delivery, you can't tell whether he's sending him 60 yards or 30 yards, but he'll be disappointed with that. He must be 3-4 yards short. Big chance for Steve now.
Well, Freer doesn't look as though he's putting any effort into it, Mel, going corner to corner. He can't be there. That's what made me think when he came last end. He'd reached, he threw himself at it and didn't reach. He's thrown himself at that one and he's still 5 yards short.
Well, so he's counting, that's all we can say, Graham. Now then, what's Wilson doing here? Oh, he's nearly sent it off.
He has sent it off.
Nearly off the green.
If that goes off, he's got
Oh, disaster.
Wow, what a bad ball. That could be the end for me, for Graham Wilson.
An absolute disaster.
Because there's 2 gifts anywhere.
Well, anyway, it's only got to stop it.
You don't
the North Pier, it'll count.
Blindfolded. You can put a blindfold on and you get 2.
Anthony Bracken there, so just beat your own, Steve.
Well, what a lucky escape that is, and what dreadful balls from Graham Wilson.
Anywhere in Blackpool to count with that one. 18-15. Just needs 2 good ends, Stevie Freer.
Well, if you ever wanted a confidence booster, Mel, to get to the semi-final, you've just had it.
Yeah. I'm sure that there are a lot of people in the Birmingham area who are watching this.
Well, the crowd are watching it. You know, they know it now that it's getting close to an upset, a big upset.
And also Stevie Freer's long-time doubles mate, you all remember, Darren Chapwin, who now resides in Thailand, and I'm sure he'll be trying to watch this. I saw on the internet this morning he was sending good wishes to.
Well,
to
there's a
Steve.
chance for Freer to go one from victory. He lies on one on. He's a good yard to get a good second ball, count 2, and pressurise Wilson. This is closer than the first.
He's lying 2 for 20 here. Graham needs to put a yard in.
Caulfield is texting all Warwickshire and Worcester at the moment, Mel.
Oh, give this a chance.
Has he? Has he give it a chance? I don't think he's given it any chance. I think it's 2. It's dropped out. I think Freer's got 2.
He looks pretty confident, Steve. He's walking back. Graham's having a look. Steve just can't wait to get his hand on that jack.
Wilson's pointed to his own, so they'll have the measure on. He's disappointed in that. That was bad bowling from a player of his calibre. Bad end up in the corner, bad end across the other side of the green. They've gone to Wilson's ball first. But he knows he can get out in the next end, Mel, whatever happens.
Yep.
Whatever happens on this measure, he knows he can get out. 1 to Freer.
Yeah, he's a good judge, Graham. He immediately pointed to his bowl, didn't he? 19-15, Stevie Freer.
Quickly. That 4 to 6 of Ellis is off the board.
Yeah.
Quickly. Luke.
Yeah.
Here we are. We'll tell you what Ellis is in a moment.
Yeah.
I'm going 1 to 3.
Interesting as well. Paul Barley's in the semi-final. He's 8 to 1. Worth a few quid that as well. Now then, Steve.
Do for me, Mel.
Okay. Looks okay.
Do for me.
Yeah, good in.
Well, it looks to me as though Graham Wilson's going to have to wait another year, Mel, to try and win the one major trophy that's eluded him in his illustrious career. Fantastic bowler, good advert for the game, for Crown Green
Steve's
balls.
after this, look.
Is he there?
He's got to make 2. Must make 2.
Lies up.
Yeah, lies up now. Bowl. Now then, Graham, bowl's on its way.
Freer watching it, watching anxiously, knows he's a step away, can't watch the end of it. He goes out missing everything. He goes out of the competition.
Well, what a fabulous win for Stevie Freer. He's through to the Osprey Waterloo semi-final, defeating the great Graham Wilson 21-15, and he deserved it, Graham, didn't he?
Well, Gary Ellis, his first sprightly walk across the green. As we have a break, Mel, at lunchtime, we'll be thinking, on paper, only on paper, not on the green, that his toughest opponent has departed. And Steve Freer has done superb to reach the semi-final. He's kicking the balls towards co-commentator Keith Rudman. He's going to be interviewed by Keith in a moment or two's time. So, as I said to you, I'm not a bad tipster, you know, Mel.
No.
Ellis is 1 to 3. There we are.
1 to 3 Ellis, 8 to 1 Barley. They meet in the first semi-final.
6 to 1 Freer, is it? No, can't be 6 to 1 Freer.
Well, we look at it now. You know, you look at what you might say, without being unkind to anybody, 3 relative outsiders in the last 4, if you like. Just Ellis from the big guns, but Ellis and Paul Barley, Stevie Freer and Andy Hayes. It's wide open, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I would now think that Gary Ellis will be thinking this is her 4th time for me to win the Waterloo Championship. You know, it's there for him to do it. But Bailey, Hayes and Freer will all have their say in it, Mel.
They will, yeah. Well, we're just waiting now. Keith Rudman has got Stevie Freer with him. He's managed to catch him. And I think we're just waiting for a quick interview. So we'll be going over to Keith Rudman and Stevie Freer in one moment.
I'm here with Steve Freer, of course, who just won our 4th quarter-final. Many congratulations there, Steve. Played really well.
Yeah, excellent game. And that's my best game of the week. It's like my 7th game now, isn't it? And I think, like my progression of games, is getting better and better. I think I'm getting better and better every game, really.
Steve, in that game, you was 10-7 down with Graham, and he was playing the corners. You got in, took him back and went 13-10 up, and that really was the decisive break in the game.
Yeah, I changed the peg, actually. I changed the bias in the corners. I caught him out a little bit, actually, because we had quite a loose end. But then I've sort of shortened it down, tried to move him around the green a bit. I think I've like broke his weight up a little bit as well.
I was just going to say that, Steve. If we could just get in here, you look like you completely broke his length up all over. You got him playing short once or twice, and really pinched some chalks with the land you picked.
Yeah, he's such a great bowler. I mean, I think you've got to do something sort of different against him. If you bowl the same mark against him, I think he's going to be thereabouts. So I think my tactics paid off.
I know he set up a game with Andy Hayes in the semi-final, which I suppose you don't know a lot about this lad.
No, but I was quite impressed with Andy in his quarter-final. I think he played a really good game. He got off to a flying start as well. So I've got to try and stop that if I can.
Well, many congratulations. We'll speak to you before the semi-final. Let you go off and get a drink. You must be done. Meanwhile, back to Mel Evans back up there in the commentary box as he'll preview the semi-finals. Right, welcome. I'm joined here by the junior Waterloo winner, who later today is going to get his trophy presented to him. And I'm here with his granddad, Alf. Unfortunately, he's the man in the middle is David, who's Alf's son, obviously Jordan's dad, who's a top bowler himself. But Jordan, first of all, many congratulations on winning the junior Waterloo. How long have you actually been bowling?
About 5 years now. I used to play bowls with like marbles when I was younger, so that's it. That's the reason why I play bowls, and to see my dad play and see him win all the money that he wins, it makes me wanted to play bowls. So
Now then, what have you done with the money? Have you kept the money from your winnings, or has your dad got it?
I've kept it.
Or have you given it to your granddad?
No, I haven't given him.
Now, I'm told by your dad, who's of course your dad, you maybe don't remember, Alf will of course, that your dad was a runner-up in this great competition, but he said he was more nervous watching you than he ever was playing himself. Do you get nervous watching your dad?
Yeah, sometimes when he's like 20 across and it's in the semi-finals. Yeah.
If I could just bring Alf in here, of course, your granddad Alf, known you for many years, and David, that must have been a great sense of achievement for yourself watching your grandson win the junior Waterloo.
Oh, it was unbelievable. He surprised us both, really. We know he had the capability because we've seen him playing for the junior county, you know, Keith. But when he got to the final here, he was 20 across in the semi, and we thought he'd left it short. Anyway, it scraped in, and he got 21-20, and he went on to win it. Marvellous game, you know.
How important do you think it is, Alf, for the game to have this junior Waterloo?
I think it's very important. I think it's very important, and we encourage the youngsters as much as we can, because that's the future of our game. And I think there should be more competitions, and I think there should be more coverage of the junior game to get them into it.
I completely agree, Al. Jordan, I mean, what other competitions do you get to play in for the juniors? Is there many juniors around Merseyside?
Yeah, there's quite a few in the squad that we've got at Merseyside. There's 24 in the away side and the home side, and then we've got about 7 reserves, so quite a few. And then there's extra people who are just taking up bowls, where they go to a place called Camberlairds to learn how to play bowls, right? And then that'll bring them on for the next generation at the county.
And what have your mates said back at school after you went back to school and said, I'm the junior Waterloo champion?
They were surprised, and I told them, so I'm not sure if they're going to take it up yet, but...
Are you giving them a few tips?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's going to tell us he's in the scouts, so he's spreading it round the scouts to go and play with him as well.
Can you not get a badge for the scouts that says junior Waterloo winner?
That's right, yeah.
I don't think so.
I think you should. I think it's a fantastic story, a great bowling family, really nice people, and the 2012 junior Waterloo champion. Are you coming back to defend it next year?
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, I'm coming back. I've already paid Jim the money for next year. So.
Has your dad not paid?
Well, my dad has, yeah.
Your dad's paid, I thought so, should think so. Back to Mel up in the commentary box. Fantastic story. The 2012 junior Waterloo champion, Jordan McDermott. Back to Mel.
Okay, thanks for that. Right, Waterloo Championships, just about to start the first semi-final between G Ellis and Paul Barley, and my co-commentator up here is the one and only Andrew Cairns, former Waterloo champion. Good afternoon, Andrew.
Good afternoon, Mel. Pleasure to be here as always.
You enjoying the bowling today?
Yeah, it's been a really good morning. I thought there was a lot of good bowling on difficult green, really, wet and drying out. I think these 2 semi-finals will be absolutely fascinating.
The green should be have dried out a bit now, probably a little bit quicker now after lunch. Sun's been on it.
Yeah, it should be. I was talking to Gary just before the semi-finals. He was saying it was still fairly heavy and a bit pushy. And the jack and balls aren't just pegging just the same, still holding and not finishing just like they normally do.
Yep. Anyway, game's underway. Paul Barley won the toss. Good lead to start off with there, Andrew.
Yeah, he'll be wanting to settle down. Yeah, he did very well to get through yesterday, and he was a little bit nervous when I spoke to him after the event. But he's here now. Played very well this morning against Tommy Johnson. I'm sure he'll be up for this game. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he's known obviously Paul since he was a young lad, and he's a real tough competitor, as you know. He's played another one here.
Yeah, 2 good ones. Gary will strike at those, certain.
Thinking about it, but I think there's no doubt what he's going to do. Here he goes.
It's a back from hand. Missed it by a long way.
Good start. 7-5. Paul Barley's a 8-1 shot at the minute.
It's a massive price, Mel. They're almost betting as though nobody else can win apart from Ellis.
That's right. I mean, all the years I've come, and you look at it, 1-3, 8-1, 5-1, 10-1. Amazing odds those, aren't they?
Well, it is really. And if you're going on form on the green, the odds are right, and the weight of money as well. But I don't think there's any 10-1 shots in the semi-final, personally.
Well, Paul's in exactly the position he wanted. He played this mark well yesterday. Just coming around the crown. He'll be satisfied with that again.
It's a funny mark, really, because it looks on this green, it looks quite a short mark, but in reality, it's probably nearer 35 yards, and he's put him fairly close. Pace is very difficult today.
Well, he's turned his peg here.
He has. Always strokes him out nice as Paul. One of the best deliveries in the game for my money.
Yeah, we said that earlier in interviews. You can't tell whether he's sending on 50 yards or 30 yards.
No, that's right. That's a sign of a great delivery.
Yeah. Bit like you, Andrew.
Now we're just being silly, Mel.
Well,
just to back. Goes out. Another 2.
Obviously, you've won the Waterloo, Andrew, in the past. Do you think there's any advantage playing first or second semi?
No, I personally don't think there is. I think if you do play in the first semi-final, you've just got to go missing for the next semi. You don't even want to watch it. Just get out the way. Each person's different. Some people like a rest. Some people like to go straight back on. But here, anyway, they have a bit of a break between the semi and the final to present some prizes for other winners here. So it probably doesn't make that much difference really anymore.
Was you first or second when you won it?
I have a bit of a blank about this. I always thought I went in the first semi-final, but I think I actually played in the second. But I just disappeared across the road. Didn't see any of the presentations for the previous competition winners, and I just came back when they called me onto the green.
Well, Paul's got the perfect start, 9-5 lead after 2 ends. Remind all the viewers, all games are off 5. Just what you wanted early on, isn't it, Andrew?
Yes, you need to settle down. Couple of 2s on the board. If you think about it, you're almost halfway home now after 2 ends. It's massive playing off 5. Totally different game. Turned his peg again, Gary. Big chance if it pegs. No, falling out.
One more. 10-5. It's not a bad crowd today, really, Andrew.
Yeah, it's I think, well, personally, yesterday I thought there was a poor crowd on, but it certainly picked up today. There's a lot of new faces who I certainly haven't seen here before. There's a lot of old ones, of course. And it's good, but obviously it's a long way off the 3,200 record capacity they had many years ago.
The full house when you won it, Andrew, was it?
Yes, I think it was. Probably one of the last occasions, actually.
Yeah. Okay, we're back to the game. Paul looks okay here again.
Yeah, he's playing well. That's the secret of playing Gary, putting him under pressure first ball. If you put one a yard off and let him in, it's all on back onto you then. Strokes him out, those bails. Can't get over how nice he sends them. Gets another. Very happy with that. That's a good position. All Gary can do really is play a similar ball to his first and try and push the jack through. Yeah, he's gone for it. Gone for it. He likes it. He's done it. Done it.
Yeah. Well, he's
got away with it.
Looks disappointed with that, Gary. He's got one out of it. Good shot.
Well, there may have been a chance of actually getting two if he'd have missed his back ball. That jack could have run another yard towards the corner. Might have even got two.
So just remind all the viewers at home that this stream today is coming courtesy of funding from the Cooperative Funeral Care and Osprey Water Management. I hope everybody's enjoying this live stream from the Waterloo as much as we are being here. So, Gary's plan now, Andrew?
I think he'll go for the corners. I think he'll try and get in the corners. If that doesn't work, his plan B will be an edge. But he'll go for the corners first.
Well, Paul Barley can certainly reach. He's not afraid to send him, is he, Andrew?
No, I've played him a few times over the years, and I've got him down as a quite a good corner player, really. But he doesn't generally elect to go in them. Gary will have to lead better than that, I'm afraid.
Good running bowls, Paul has as well.
Yeah, they're quite big. Seem to ride bumps well and just finish that little bit better. He'll just go in, not a good one. Room for improvement for both of them.
Gary seems to think he's too big here. Trying to hold it back.
Too far. I don't think he's a long way over, personally. And there you go.
Yeah, that helped.
Shut up now. I actually played Paul down at Coventry in a competition recently, which he ended up winning. That was a nice big heavy green, and he seemed to like it on there. So I don't think he'll be bothered about playing on here.
Well, he fancies this a bit.
He's turned his peg.
Another peg.
Just needs to run straight now. If it runs straight, it goes in. Look at that, trying to peg out. May have flopped out, can't just tell from up here.
One more to Paul. 11-6. Retains the 5 lead. Yeah, just mentioning that competition, Andrew, the Taylor Bowls Tour that Jimmy's organised this year. And Paul came out top in the points table.
That's right. It was surprisingly tight, actually. All the four semi-finalists could have ended up winning the rankings table, and as it happened, Paul came through and won the competition and won the rankings list. I think he's off to sunny Portugal now.
And the finals of that, I think, coming up here soon, Andrew.
I think it's next Friday. I haven't checked my diary for a long time because there's not a lot in it, but I think there's something penciled in for Friday. It's like a week on Friday.
And you're in that, of course?
I scrambled in, I think, number 7 somehow. I think I only won 3 games. Ooh. That was a strange ball. A little bit of adrenaline, possibly.
It's probably made it a little bit harder for Gary to get up. He just edged the jack over 3 or 4 inch.
Well, he was striking, no doubt. Not a lot else he can play. He's stalking it. Yeah.
Good hit.
Very good hit. He needed to have it, really. If he hit it full, it would have gone onto the jack and he'd probably still been down. But very good striker is Gary.
Yep, 7-11.
I was surprised with how far he missed at the first end. He doesn't miss a lot, and when he does miss, it's usually only by a matter of inches. It's a couple of foot off, which is very unusual.
Yeah, we were commenting on Gary, what sort of professional he is. We noticed that the last quarterfinal finished and he's immediately on the green practicing into dedication.
Well, that's the right word. You've used 2 words that sum him up perfectly for me: professional and dedication. He deserves everything he gets out of the game. He's a big practicer. He's put in probably half an hour, 45 minutes practice there in the lunch break. He's always on the green when he can be. And he gets out what he's put into it. So fair play to him.
Yeah, and winning 16 tournaments this season so far, it's an amazing record, isn't it?
Well, it's absolutely incredible. I don't know if it's ever been done before. They're not little competitions he's winning either, you know. He just so professional, and everyone should aspire to be like him. Of course, he never stands on the map though, so that's something that we should probably stamp down on.
Yeah, but the mats are not big enough anyway.
It's only a guide, isn't it? Well, Bales is just mulling over what to do. He's certainly reaching it.
And talking of striking, he's a good striker himself, is Bales.
Excellent striker. Oh, it's just tight, I think. Yeah. Another 2.
9-11.
Is that your car, Mel?
No, it's not mine. No, mine's out. I've hidden mine away.
Mine's in the garage.
Right.
I'm going home for a whip round later on. I need £200.
What, to get home?
Yeah.
Some donkeys on the beach. Might get one of them. Get you back.
I don't think they'd take my weight, Mel.
Okay, Gary's opted to go into the corner. I thought he might have gone across the north stand then, position he was in, Andrew.
Yeah, he gets away with a lot of good a lot of average balls up that top side, that north stand. But he's persevering with the corners. He obviously thinks Bales has a bit of a weakness in him, or maybe he's just trying to put a lot of distance between him and the jack, in case he does start striking.
He's not putting much distance between his ball and the jack there, Andrew. Good lead again.
No, they're a good lead. They always used to say if you could put him a yard off in these corners, you'd win the competition. Well, I think he's not so far off really doing that. Got another here for me. Needs to miss that front ball. Yeah, reeling now.
Good in. Well, this is reached.
Yeah. He likes it. Stoking it. Likes it. He just wants it to lean. Ooh.
Two more. 11-all.
11-all, and that's all come from the strike in the middle of the green.
Yeah.
He was looking comfortable with Paul. Line to go 12-6, and now it's level.
Going back to that strike, as you commented, Paul's second bowl was just a bad bowl, and what he was doing with that.
Yeah, it was just a bit of adrenaline, I think. He wanted to reach and pass the jack, but obviously not with as much as he did. This was a mark he was practicing at lunchtime, and he was just pointing out to me that the jack wasn't just pegging as much as it normally does in that corner.
When I walked on across the green earlier, there's a big area, you can just see from here, quite a big dark patch in the middle of the green.
That's right.
Seemed to be a bit squelchy, holding water.
Well, given the rain we had last night, it was of biblical proportions.
Yeah.
I'm amazed the green's as nice as it is.
Yeah, you was up the Martin Institute last night, I gather, Andrew, which was a bit damp up there, wasn't it?
Well, it wasn't damp in the bar. It was outside, but no, I called it a do when a man with a big long white beard floated past in a big wooden boat.
Good ball, Paul.
That's an excellent reply.
I don't think Gary can get it that neither, can he?
There's not a lot he can do. He's just got to try and lick it. Not easy at the best of times, never mind over 60 yards. Maybe just to back and to far now. Yeah. Run straight there now. See, they're the type of leads that Gary hasn't been getting beat this week. Bales steps in. Well, he's to far with this. Can't get another.
We were commenting earlier on some of the games. A lot of players who didn't make the second. It happened a lot in Danny Nixon's game, particularly. We know Danny got beat, but there was 3 or 4 ends where he had room to get a second. They can just make the difference, can't they?
Oh, I think the second ball's well, arguably the most crucial one when you've got one in. Sometimes you just think, I'll just get another, not a problem, breeze one in, and you just don't concentrate. That's what Gary does especially well. every single ball, same level of concentration. And that's what you need to do, make your twos.
Well, you're not looking so bad with this. Good pace.
Yeah, looks good on the road as well. I'll be happy with that lead.
Well, he wasn't with his body language there, shaking an head. How near does he want him?
He should be happy with that lead. Not easy to beat 18-inch balls on this green. It's not the nearest of played greens. Just gone in for my money for me, yeah. Bales doesn't really want to know. Well, needs to peg. I don't think it will at that pace. Just gone out.
Yep, Brian, the referee, has indicated Gary's in. He'll try and get a 2.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he'll be disappointed with himself if he doesn't. Just short, I think. Yeah. So you just...
It's interesting watching the players, isn't it? As soon as Gary sent that, he realised, you know, the top players, they know immediately, don't they, when they put it down? Yeah,
you do, absolutely right. In yesterday's game, I don't know if that was captured on film. Jimmy Darby, Simon Cowte, the strike, the infamous strike. The following end, you could, as soon as he sent his last ball, Simon, he knew he was well outside the line, almost before it had left his hand. Well, some of these men can tell to inches. Yeah. I haven't got a clue if they're on road or not. Never mind a length. What's one of those?
Well, 12 all. And Gary's back up to the toilet corner. Finger peg just round the crown. I
think if he gets in here, he'll actually go up the edge. Not just sure which one he'd go for, but I think he'd change the game. I think he's realising that he's not just leading well enough over a distance and needs to revert to maybe the strongest part of his game, which are the edges.
Well, Paul's played another one here.
Yeah, playing very well. He's on a better road, far better road. Needs to just come at the finish. Right, rest it now. Yep. Well, Bales really wants to play the same ball as Gary's just played, but whether he feels confident doing that, I don't know.
And he can't play too heavy, can he? Because there's a danger he can just pump his own ball out at the back and leave a daft too, really.
I think Bales really prefers to strike, but well, he's reached at it.
He's still watching.
Right. Well, it's a big effort. He's done it. He's done it for me. Oh,
he's unlucky.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky. Of course, he had a few hits in the game with Tommy Johnson, so they reckon that they even themselves out.
Okay, one to Gary, 13-12. We'll see if your prediction's correct now, Andrew. Which edge? East stand, north stand?
Well, I've no idea what way we are here. I think he'll be going up the east stand. Just some of my fans waving at me down there. I'm well loved round here, aren't I, Mel?
Yeah, you are, yeah. You're a bit of an hero, aren't you?
I'm one of those characters they love to hate, apparently.
No, I think you're an hero in Blackburn. I'm surprised they're not put your statue alongside Jimmy Armfield's down the road.
I've been getting some funny comments about my hat as well. I've heard you've been commenting about it. I'm not sure what's up with it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
It's keeping my head warm, that's the main thing.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
It's a beautiful sunny day, but it's bitterly cold. Not so bad. I'll just go past the jack, this. Maybe a yard. Oh, it's gone a longer way. Oof. That corner's usually the heaviest part of the green, but it just seemed to finish there. Will he catch Bales out? Looks short. Just won it.
Nice to see all the players kitted out in the Taylor shirts today.
Yeah, look very smart. Nice. I think they've all got different colours on as well, which helps.
Yeah.
Oh, just won it. Bales will be confident about licking these though. All he needs to do is pass his own with a 6-inch. Won it certain. Don't usually get that much room with Gary.
Yeah. 13 all.
I know there's an awful lot of big money riding on Gary at the minute. A lot of people have backed him at very short odds.
Well, speaking to two of the bookmakers in our hotel last night, and they were saying the only loser they got in the book was Graham Wilson.
Right. They've probably not took that many bets on Gary just because of his short price, but all the supposedly professional punters would be lumping on a few 3 and 4 figure bets.
Well, now poor Barley's gone a little bit further this time.
Yeah, just finishes at the end there. Just go past the jack and keep going.
Just a quicker part of the green, Andrew, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah, and it'll also be probably a little bit drier as well. It's near one of the drains that they installed a few years ago, so you can just see them on the green if you look carefully. They're a slightly brighter green colour. So the drainage in those areas tends to be slightly better. As it's tight and it's too far. Apart from that, it's all right. There's 2.
Can he get past it, that peg now, Gray?
Well, he can, yeah. He can. He's just missing his own ball. As long as he's a length, he'll win the end. But looks tight to me.
I think Gary thinks he's too big.
He's not a lot too far at all. He's tight. It's virtually a length. He was just a bit too narrow, really. But could have won it. I don't know how far Paul's ball is past the jack. Still not sure who's in. Yeah. Just stuck in.
So 14, 13. Neither of them can get away from one another. We saw that in the first game, Gary Ellis and Jimmy Darby. I don't know if you noticed, but I think for about the first 7 or 8 ends, nobody scored to their own lead.
That's right, yeah, I did notice that.
First person to do it was Gary, and he got a 2.
I said with some of the people I was stood with, what Gary needs to do is let Jimmy send the jack out. And promptly got in and ran away with it a little bit. But it's just there'll be a lot of nerves still. It's quite a big occasion. It's a better lead. Gone further than I thought that.
So they come in thumb bias up to the hotel corner from the middle of the north stand.
It just goes in this, just crept in. Trotting after this, likes it. Just going to go in clear for me. Can't miss, I don't think.
Yeah, they just slip back there, don't they, Andrew?
Yeah, they do. There's a little ridge running in this corner, and you're just playing along the side of it. Not the hardest corner on the green, but none of them are that easy, to be fair. Won't come up at the finish there. Run straight now.
Well, all square again. 14 across.
It's got 20 apiece written all over it, Mel.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then I think there's only one man can win at 20 apiece. Because if he wins 1 million games every season, 21-20.
Well, I was talking to Paul yesterday. He was delighted to have made the final day of the Waterloo. Certainly there's no nerves with him at all, is the Bale? Really enjoying it.
No, very, very confident player. Without being arrogant, very confident player. I used to play with him at Budenberg's in the Premier League. Well, seems like a long time ago now, but it probably wasn't. And he was a great team man, great around the green, great to have on the green. And he's been quiet for a few years, but you know, he's had family commitments and work commitments. It's good to see him back playing back at the highest level and playing well.
Yeah, well, he originated for Staffordshire, obviously. He's from our neck of the woods, and then he played for Warwick and Worcester. Now he's playing for South Yorkshire. So 3 counties he's played for.
I didn't realise he was from Staffordshire originally. I'll take it all back.
Well and all lad. His dad a good player as well, Vic Barley.
Yes. Well, this is the worst end he's played today. Gifted Gary 2. He's not even had to try to get a second there. Be very disappointed.
Yeah, 16-14. This next end, the big end, isn't it?
It is. I felt he just went a little bit too far then. He's probably gone maybe 10 yards further than he has been playing. But if he can count this end, it's, you know, it's not all lost obviously. But if Gary counts it, then he'll think he's nearly home and hosed.
It's important to put those ends behind you, isn't it, Andrew? You know, it's just that's just another game now. Next game.
Well, that's what Gary's good at. He'll have forgotten about that end now. He'll be thinking about getting a ball near this jack. I'm not just sure whether Bales will hang on to that, thinking, oh, I can't believe I've played such a bad end, or whether he can just forget about it. But he has to do, and he has to try and lick this ball, which 2 foot maybe past the jack. The way he's been playing, he should lick it. He certainly reached. Certainly reached to far.
Yeah, it looks bigger, a bit more polished bowls than Gary's as well, aren't they?
Yeah, Gary doesn't play with any lacquer on his bowls. I was talking to Bales about with all his striking, how he gets on with the lacquer, and he says he doesn't have a problem with it. Mine will have chipped off by now. Just need a couple of foot out.
Some good support here from Anthony Bracken supporting Bale. Bale, of course, when he was in Warwick Worcester, played for the Greville Arms with Bracken.
He's a one-man crowd.
Yeah.
He's the sort of man you want on your team.
Oh, strike here. Still watching it.
Very confident striker. I'm not just sure whether that was the right ball or not, but if it's the one he fancied, then fair enough.
So 17-14 to Gary. Now he's in a position for either edge. He's just, and if you glanced at him, he's just looked at both edges then, Gary.
Well, I think he'll. It's looking like he's going for neither. He's gazing at that distant corner. He's thinking about that north edge. Got to be decisive. He's going for the corners.
Roy Armstrong earlier in the commentary was saying that he thinks Gary has really improved his corner play the last couple of years.
I think that's a fair comment. Even the game's best have the odd weakness. I mean, you know my weakness as Mel, playing left-handers from Staffordshire. But Gary's, like I said, he's a practicer. He practices incessantly. Whenever he can get on a green, he does. And as long as he practices his weaknesses, he's going to improve. I mean, that's a great ball, really. But he'll be disappointed.
Well, they're going, what, 50-55 yards here, Andrew?
Absolutely. It's tremendous distance. This has a good if it's on a road, needs to hit something now. No, just underneath. They do drift about a bit just in that part of the green. You think they're just going to peg up at the finish and they run straight. And it just needs to run a little bit.
Yeah, Michael Holden in the crowd, his #1 fan, saying run away, sure.
Well, he was in a very peculiar position, was Michael, shouting for both Jimmy and Gary in the first game. Well, if this is a length, it's won it. This is anywhere near a length, it wins it. Oh.
What? 18-14. Not had the best of luck the last 2 ends, Paul, isn't he?
Playing the finger peg back into that northeast corner. I don't like saying the toilet corner, it sounds a bit seedy. Of course, a similar mark to what Brian Duncan won 5 titles on. If he wins today, I think this will be his 4th, won't it?
It will, yeah. I mean, people are saying that can never see Brian's record being beaten, but Gary might not be far off.
Oh, that's right. Not a bad lead there. Maybe a yard short at the most, but one of those you'd rather have than lick. Well, again, he needs a length here. Road looks right to me. Needs to miss that ball. If he misses that ball... Don't know.
May have just scrambled in on a length.
Not asking, isn't Gary?
Yeah.
He knows he's just got to play a similar ball with a foot or so running in. Looks on a road. Looks on a road. That's definite. Now
Bale's just asked Brian referee to check.
only one. He had won it. Very hard to tell for over that distance.
What will Paul do here?
He's striking.
Oh, this is dangerous, isn't it?
Very. Well, he should have. Well, I'd have played the same ball as my first one.
He's still watching it.
Yeah. Oh, it's cleared the end.
Paul's disappointed with that, but might be second best, but he's cleared the end.
He just needs to regroup a little bit. He's starting to look a little bit flustered. Just needs to regroup on this long walk over. Take his time. Concentrate on getting that first ball somewhere near the jack. And get the pressure back on Gary. I think he's been playing finger peg out of that corner.
Still a bit gusty down there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's very windy. Yeah, it's very cool as well. The players will be feeling a bit warmer though. Getting him out nice, Gary, today. Coming out clean. That's half the battle. This looks okay. Going to be just short, but it's not so bad.
Yeah,
One of those. Again, you've got a lick.
Yeah. Gary's saying, get on. You could hear him from up here.
Well, they're saying a yard short, but he's really only a foot of running there. Bales is further. Bales is further, too far. Will it just go? Yeah, just gone. Yard, that's all. I think there's a slight difference in bias as well. Paul's balls look just maybe a ball weaker than Gary's.
We did say that in the previous game.
What you've also got to remember about Gary is how much he actually drags them across himself. It's not obvious when you're watching on camera. When you stood behind him, you can see it, and a lot of people don't pick it up straight away.
He's line 2 for 20.
He's stroked it out. It's to far again. It's to far and to back for me.
Yeah.
Making sure he's reaching, but
2 more. All but 14. Ellis for another Waterloo final. His 1 to 3 has been rubbed off the board.
I'm not sure what price he'll be in the final. 1 to 3 in the semis. Well, 1 to 5, 1 to 7. Not sure. Obviously dependent on who he plays, of course. He'll just want to plant a lead right on top of the jack now, and he'll be happy. Of course, since it was 14 apiece, and I said it's got 20 apiece written all over it, Paul's never scored again.
Yeah, kiss of death, Andrew.
Commentator's curse. Yeah, not so bad this. Just going to be a yard at the side. Not so bad. Nice to see a couple of colourful characters here today in the neon pink wigs. Yeah, wins
Alright.
it. Great ball.
Yeah, good one, Paul.
You wouldn't think they were teammates of Gary's, them two, would
Them
you?
two over there now.
We hate Ellis. Apparently they'd sold out a We Hate Cairns t-shirt. Striking.
Then he did extra large in them anyway, Andrew.
Looking at it. Oh, what a great hit.
What a great
What
hit.
a great hit.
Yeah. Well, Paul, you got to do it all over again, otherwise you get
I
out
don't
to the
think
Waterloo.
He's thinking about striking at that. I hope he's not short. Needs to rest. Gone out. Gone out. Waiting for me.
Yeah, correct. That's it. A 21-14 victory for Gary Ellis. Through to the final against Paul Barley. Just a word for Paul, Andrew. He's played really well, hasn't he? Just went away from him at the end.
Yeah, he's just played a bad end at 14 apiece, and it seemed to have gone away from him. He's played one or two unorthodox bowls, shall we say, towards the end of the game. I feel for him because he was playing well. He was matching Gary ball for ball, and he'll be disappointed. It's just gone away from him like that, really.
So I think we're just going to be in a moment having a word with Gary and Paul. So then we'll be back with the second semi-final with Andrew Hayes and Stevie Freer. So we'll be seeing you very shortly then, Andrew.
You will, Mel.
Okay. Yes, Paul with his young lad. We're watching him play on the green early, Andrew. He's sending them out quite nicely.
Probably put him closer than I did anyway.
You beat
Closer
me
than
to
his
it.
dad did.
So we're going over now to Keith Rudman, who's with Gary Ellis and Paul Bailey.
Yeah. Right, I'm here with the two semi-finalists here, Gary and Paul. If I could come to you, Paul, you did the perfect start, really. Flew out of the traps. You know, you light two balls in this corner down here. Gary's had a very brave strike there. He misses. You lighted him about 13-5 or something.
Yeah, but he's that good. He can come back, can't he?
Wow.
He's just classing in. His game's #1 at the moment, and that's why he's takes those shots and they come off and goes from strength to strength. And there's nothing really you can do about it, is there?
But I think you've put up a great performance. I think you've played really well in there. I mean, again, a little bit later on in the game, you've come out of that corner there and you lie again. And he's had another brave strike to knock you off.
Yeah, difference is I should have made two and stopped that shot, and I didn't. And give
With
Gary
your second ball,
yeah, and give Gary the shot, and he's too good. He just takes those shots, and then from then on, the pressure's on to lead, and he gets a bit too much, and he just steps in and just gets into the other gear. And
are you proud of Daddy? Say yeah. Say yeah. Gary, come to you. It's, you know, you looked under the cosh there in the early part of that semi-final. As I've just said, Paul flew out of the traps. And I refer back to this end here where you've played into this corner here. What was going through your mind there? Because obviously if you miss, you leave two. You're right under it then.
Well, when you're off 5, the thing that you don't want is to go 2 down, which is I've lost a jack first end. Paul's played 2 good bowls. I've had a poor strike, and then second end I've whizzed one through, and suddenly you're under the cosh. And at 10-5 down, I've weighed up the percentages and thought, well, it's worth the gamble. I've a good chance of counting 2 if I hit it, and fortunately I only got 1. But if I'd have just missed that, I'm sure it'd have been a different game. But that can be the difference.
And then I refer to this other strike that you've had from the pub corner to the middle of the green. That was another massive shot.
Yeah, I went into the back of Paul's first bowl, I think, and knocked him a good one. And then he's right. He'll be disappointed not to have made 2, and he's given me the option. And fortunately, I've just managed to clip it out. And then I've got back to 11 across, and I think I've pulled away from possibly 14 across, and that's just how it works out sometimes.
You went from strength to strength, and to be fair, you'd not really had the block up to that point. But once you got hold of the block and led, as Paul said, you want some beating when you're leading these corners. I mean, at the last end, what a strike!
Yeah, well, I thought with how they lay, I thought, well, it's not an easy place to play through there, and the thing I was determined not to do is hit my own. So if anything, I've aimed for the jack and just hope that I pegged onto his bowl, and fortunately I've hit it clean, you know, and mine was a good one, so it was a difficult bowl for Paul to beat again. He's just gone out, you know, only just gone out. It was an unlucky bowl, really.
Well done to you, Gary. We'll let you get on to the final. Paul, many congratulations on getting this far. And as I say, on many occasions, you lose nothing in defeat with that. I must be proud of Daddy. I'm going to bring these two guys in here. I don't know if you've seen this, Gary, but we're not just sure what all this is about. Come here. What's all this? We Ate Ellis. Just turn around here now then. What's this? Are you going to Funny Girls later, or what's happening?
Last night.
Last night. What's all this about? We Ate Ellis. You're both club mates of his.
Well, we just think he's just all goes for him all the time. Me and David, we're just like a joke. And we're sick of it, to be honest.
He should be encouraging his teammates, but he just puts us down all the time. He just says we're not good enough to play ball.
So this is revenge back against Ellis?
I don't want to be a Tango man. I just get called Tango.
Why, is that why you've had it done in orange?
I've just got slightly darker pigments in my skin than most other people. So.
Go back to Mel up there in the commentary box. These two goons are going to around. They're shouting against Ellis. Something tells me they could be back in the wrong horse shouting against him.
Anyway, the game's about to begin now. We have Andrew Hayes from Eccleston in St Helens and Merseyside against Steve Freer from Boldmere, St Michael's and Warwick and Worcester. Off 5, Hayes has won the jack. What do you think of this game then, Roy? You've seen both players this morning.
Yes, to be absolutely honest, I don't know an awful lot about Andy Hayes. All I do know is that he is a St Helens player, and of course way back in the day a lot of fine players came from St Helens. He's there about 5 foot over on this mark, only playing about 35 yards.
The current betting is still 3 or 4 to 1 to win the tournament, and Hayes 10 to 1. Still very big odds in it when there's only 3 runners left, right?
Well, I think what they're doing, obviously, all the money's on Ellis, and they're going a mile over the odds to try and get some money out of these other players. I'm afraid it's won't be a good week for the bookmakers.
Well, Steve just needs to miss that. Yep. 1 in, 1 out, as I say. So Stevie Freer's on the card, 6'5". He's got a lot of support in the crowd today from Warwick Worcester, right?
Well, to be honest, watching him this morning, I think he's feeding off it. You know, he's obviously a very, very hyperactive young fella, and the encouragement from his Warwick and Worcester teammates, I think that does him good.
Yeah, you just can't wait to get the jack in his hand, and it's away, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a very quick player, and I don't think he doesn't seem to need to think about it an awful lot. And I think he's played this mark an awful lot throughout the tournament. When I've seen him, he's playing finger peg just under the crown to the north stand with a downhill finish, and it bends quite a bit at the end.
Well, he's going to be satisfied with that. Interesting against Graham Wilson. He went all round the green, didn't he, Roy?
He's a very, very unorthodox player, and I'm not sure that I'd like to have played him, because you never know what he was going to do next. And he could do the completely the opposite to what you think.
Yeah, well, good ball for Andy Hayes there, right up against it. Oh, Steve's not short, right?
I think he's too low.
Just stuck out. Oh, Andy's waving this one over. He looks a little bit on the skinny side of that one. Yep. 6-all. I think Gary Ellis will be taking a nice little rest now. What would you think's the best first semi-final to play in, or second one, Roy?
I think the first one's the best. That you can have a nice sit down, you can watch these two lads play, you can see where they play, see whether that's of any particular interest to you, because what you can bet that as soon as this game's over, Gary Ellis will be on the green practicing, and he'll have had a look at where these two boys are playing, and he'll probably practice a few times on some of the marks. Playing finger peg now, about 28 yards to the pub, always uphill to here, catches a lot of people out.
Well, he caught himself out there, Andrew. Oh, Steve is better with this. Anthony Bracken above everybody in the crowd. He's worth 100 spectators, Bracken.
Yeah, I think the feature of Steve Freer is that he has this ability to pull out crucial bowls at the right time. There's no doubt about it. He has got a lot of talent.
2 more to Steve. 8-6. Of course, you may remember Steve well from playing doubles with his good friend Darren Chatwin as well. We're going to Rill and places like the old Midland Bank pairs and so on.
Yeah, yeah.
Good pairing, weren't they?
Yeah. I think I only might have come across. I only might have played them one time.
And Darren's now resides in Thailand. Don't know if he's able to pick this up today. I know he was on the internet this morning and wishing Steve all the best.
Oh, good.
He came over to the Waterloo for the spring Waterloo, did Darren. He came up here and had a chat with us. Yeah, then. Andrew looks a little bit pacey. Steve don't like that, Roy. Has he cut the land a little bit?
Yeah, he was slapping his thighs there, and quite right too. Not a good bowl at all. Now, I don't think he needs to know, is it? He's just got to play. What does it matter?
Oh, cheap 2 there for Andrew, really. 8 all. The winner today, first prize, £1,400. And we mustn't forget a place in the Champion of Champions here a week on Saturday, Roy.
Yeah, that's always a good day, isn't it? Yeah.
Big occasion.
Coming thumpeg now into the heavier part of the green towards the pub. Playing about 38 yards here.
And also the winner will be invited to join us in Portugal.
Oh, yeah.
Commencing the 13th of October. You looking forward to that, Roy?
Oh, looking forward to some sunshine.
Yeah. You'll be refereeing, no doubt.
Yeah, I believe that's the plan.
It's a new venue in Villamora Bowls Club. Andrew just stuck it out a little bit there. It's one area of the green you can't get wide, isn't it, Roy?
Yeah, it's something that quite a few of the players do if they don't know the green all that well.
Stevie Free's come at it the other peg. Just needs to run a little bit. May have made 2. Steve was running that one up almost before he loosed it, Roy.
Yeah, it's interesting him coming the other peg there. He must have just fancied it a little bit. But the green is still very wet from the overnight rain. I think what happens sometimes on these occasions, when you get the sunshine coming out like this, it draws the moisture to the top. So it doesn't really get any quicker.
We were commenting earlier as well about lady measurers and lady referees. Would we have seen that years ago here at the Waterloo, Roy?
Oh no. I mean that would have been a no-no years ago. How times change.
Yeah. Well, we know the one lady, Evelyn. She's a very good referee, isn't she?
I think the players all respect Evelyn.
Yes.
She's a very, very good judge, and she's always on hand, and everybody's got good respect for her. All the top players have.
And she'll be refereeing in Portugal as well, no doubt.
Yeah, I think she's refereeing, and Brian Swift, I think he also is going to be part of the team.
Yep. Well, Stevie leading out 9-8 for a place in the Osprey Waterloo final. You commented saying you didn't know much about Andrew Hayes, but I noticed from his little pen picture write-up he's played some 70 times for Merseyside. That's a lot of county games, Roy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of the Merseyside lads. I was talking to them in the hotel this morning. A lot of the Merseyside lads think that he's the best Merseyside player. The other one, of course, who's rated very highly is David McDermott, who's been here this week. But apparently this boy, they do rate him quite highly.
Well, you're just asking if it's one. Steve line one. So Andrew's playing at it. He's got his eye on it still. Just stuck out. One more to free a 10-8 to the man from Boldmere St Michael's Club in Birmingham. As you say, Steve, you never quite know where he's going to send it, Roy.
I don't think he knows himself.
I played him recently in a Summit Garage match at Chadgemore, Steve. I just managed to beat him that day, and again, he was even on an away green. He was trying different marks all the time, varying the length and everything.
He's going thumb peg here. Playing about just about 30 yards here. Little bit uphill, and he's played short again.
He likes these round peg, Steve, and just round the side of the crown, and played well on the big round peg yesterday against Wayne Ditchfield to reach today, didn't he, Roy?
Yeah, he's played two really good games, and he's played really well this morning. And it's amazing. Quite often, what you find is when they played a really good game like that, perhaps the next game they play is a little bit loose. But that's a real good bowl.
Line two. Cry from the crowd. Good bowl, Biscuit. Stevie's nickname. And what about this one? I think it may have just gone out, Roy, although Stevie's bowl's leaning out a little. If it falls, it'll go out. And it's leaning quite badly there. Yep, he's conceded just as the ball fell over.
That was a strange thing, that.
Yeah, it was there. I mean, certainly he fell out, but Andrew conceded it before the ball fell. So one more to Steve, 11-8, nice little lead.
Going somewhere different again now. Going a lot further. Going about 42 yards here.
Yeah, the shadow of the West Stand's coming across the green now, and be satisfied with that one. Well, looks a good bowl again here, Roy.
Yeah, this is the test now for Andy. Ideally, he wants to be trying to save.
Well, trying needs to rest the ball.
Seafray's gone for a walk. Don't know what's happened now.
Yeah, something happened with Steve. He's had to go off the green, Steve. The referees. Yeah, the problem here with Stevie Freer, the referees, Keith Andrews, just attending to him. He just went off the green, holding his head, Steve. Hopefully everything's okay. He's having a rest there with the referee. You have to take a break here. Hopefully Steve's able to carry on. He doesn't look too good, does he, Roy?
Oh no, very worried about him now.
Yeah.
Don't know whether he's feeling a bit bilious or.
I don't know. So the referee Keith Andrews is with him, and Cole Fielding, one of his supporters, is just running around the green to Steve. So we're just taking a slight break here. He seems to be holding his eyes and his head, Steve. The referee's coming across, looks like some water, and good to see Gary Ellis is going across to Steve as well, to check if he's okay. Yeah, Brian Swift just took him some water. Yeah, Anthony Bracken round. His supporters are around there with him.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation for Andy Hayes as well, really.
Yes.
He's not sure what to do. He could probably just do it going to sit down somewhere.
Yeah. And Dougie Stewart, the organiser here today on the mic, just going round to check with Steve. I don't know if we've anyone, a first aid person on the premises. Jim Parker, the Bowls manager, is just going across now to see if he can assist in any way. I don't quite know what's happened. I mean, he sent both his bowls and looked fine with them, and then he Andrew Hayes came up and just clipped the bowl, which I think possibly saved one, and then immediately Steve turned away and walked off the green. He seems to be pointing to his eyes, Stevie. And they're just taking him into the North Stand and sitting down. So at this moment, obviously, play is temporarily suspended. We just hope Steve is able to carry on. All the years you've come, have you ever seen a problem like this, Roy? Anyway, taken ill?
It's a unique situation. I've seen people feeling not too well and feeling a little bit bilious, but never seen the game stop like this. This is an absolutely unique situation.
Hi everyone, just keep everyone informed. Steve's just being a bit ill, we're just going to give him 5 minutes to try and get he's struggling with his vision. Hopefully he'll clear shortly. Just give him 5 minutes. Tea and coffee's still on sale.
Yeah, Jimmy Parker's just announced that they're going to give Stevie 5 minutes or so just to see if he can recover. He said he's having some problems with his vision at the moment. So hopefully we can resume with the game very shortly. This stand, the scoreboard said 11-8 to Steve Freer. Not quite sure on the last end when he walked off. There's been no signal. It's at least 1 to Steve, isn't it, Roy?
Yeah, I think the only good thing is that the end's been completed. It would have been very, very much more difficult if he'd have still had some bowls to play, but at least the end's completed.
I think there's some lady just been in the crowd, I think, with some sort of tablets or something. So whether there's anything, maybe have a migraine or something come across him, Roy, I don't know.
No. All the bookmakers are looking at the books now, wondering what will happen in the event that he's unable to continue. And
well, what's your opinion? If that was to happen, the worst case, Roy, in this situation?
Well, all the bets on this particular match will have to be returned, I would imagine. They won't be able to carry on with it.
Yeah, I think everybody just hopes that Steve can recover and come back on. It's the biggest occasion in the young man's life, and to not be able to carry on would be an absolute tragedy.
Yeah, with all due respect, man, I think the most important thing is the boy's health.
Yes.
Whether he, you know, not the Waterloo bowling handicap. Just hope
correct.
he's okay himself.
Yeah. But it seemed to happen very quickly, Roy, didn't it? I mean, in the end before, he's running his bowls up and.
Oh yeah, he seemed to be quite okay with things and getting to grips with the game. And then the next minute, he's just suddenly disappeared. But whether he's eaten something that's not quite right, I don't know.
Jimmy Parker on the mic said it was his vision.
Right. I think from my experience of the medication that I take right now to keep myself going, I think sometimes if he hasn't taken his medication or not taken the right dosage, your vision actually can be affected. You sort of get low blood pressure and you become a little bit woozy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've known Steve a long time, and he did have some health problems a few years ago, and I know he does still take some medication. He's a lot better than he was in those days. But as you say, maybe something has just affected him.
I think the good thing is they need to get some water down it. You know, you can become dehydrated quite easily.
Well, he's standing up. He's coming back on the green. That's good to see. And a warm round of applause to Steve. Just hope he's okay to continue. Well, he's signalled 2. It's 13-8 to Steve Free. I'm just glad the lad's okay to resume the game. But although he's bowling with his hand over his eye at the moment into the sun. It's probably difficult for Andrew Hayes as well, wasn't it, Roy? Really?
Yes, it was. It was not a nice thing for him. But I'll tell you one thing that I noticed about a lot of the modern players, they don't seem to wear a cap. You know, I always wore a cap when the sun was in my eyes, and they put their hand up to their eyes, and maybe if his vision's affected, it would be advised to wear a cap.
Yeah, I always had. I mean, I've had eye surgery, and I have to wear a cap really just to keep the sun out of it in recent years. But as you say, you're bowling into the sun, a lot of sun on the green, and Steve's gone off the green again here. He's walking around the edge of the green. He's clearly not 100%. He's lying 2 at the moment. May have just gone out, Roy, that one. Yeah, one more to Steve.
Yep.
14-8. Just needs to perhaps take his time and just slow down a little bit, Roy, doesn't he? And it's not his game, Steve.
Well, we said it jokingly actually after his previous match that the best thing for him to do would be to lie down in a dark room, but because he's so active, isn't he?
Yeah. Tell he's still not. You can see now he's covering his eyes, and maybe you're correct. Perhaps a cap or something might just help him.
Yeah, he's playing finger peg just under the crown, playing about 36 yards here.
Found a good
quite
ball.
a good lead.
Yeah, 14-8 lead at the moment, and one there, foot at the side. Andrew Hayes is gone sailing off the green.
Yeah, I always think it's difficult playing into that stand when it's in the shade. You're never really sure just what the length's like.
No. Oh, he's got another one. 2 good bowls there, Steve. I think Andrew's going to have a bit of a punt at them, Roy.
Oh yeah, he's striking now.
Over the top, 2 more. 16-8. He's just 5 shots away from Osprey Waterloo final. If he does get there, just well, now there'll be a short break after this semi-final. There's going to be a few presentations on the green. He might just give him 15-20 minutes to gather himself.
Yeah.
For the moment, he's got to get 5 shots quick to get there.
Yeah, I think actually it seems to have seems to have affected Andy Hayes more than it has Steve Freer, which is understandable.
Oh, he's left this one a bit short. Room for Andrew here. And well, he's punished the bad lead. Good ball here, Andrew. Let's give up. Chance for another.
Yeah, he's just faltering now, Steve, because that was a facet of all the games he's played previously, his ability to pull out a crucial ball when it was wanted.
Well, he's got away with the one. So it's 9-16. He's certainly not getting after any balls. He's not comfortable, Steve, is he?
Oh, and that shows the difference between the ordinary player and the top class players. All the top class players would have had two there. Two's win games.
Yep. Well, Andy now got the jack in hand. He hasn't seen that for a few ends. He's heading into the corners. The poor lead of Andrew there. He's gone through, what, 2 yards, Roy?
Yes.
Oh yeah, real good ball of Steve's. Oh, Andrew, what you doing? Simple 2 for Steve, should be. Yep, 2 to Steve. 18-9. Steve's really walking very slowly across the green, and
bit of a change for him to take his time, Mel. Really.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You can tell Steve's not right. We all know what Steve is like.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people back home who are watching this broadcast back in Birmingham are just as concerned as we are here for him not being 100%. But still just 3 shots away from the final. He's turned his back on this one, Steve. Yeah.
Yeah, that shows us something not right. In his previous games, leading to this,
he's gone off the green again, Steve. Now somebody's been and fetched him a visor.
Oh right.
But he's having trouble keeping it on his head at the moment. He just fell over his eyes.
Yeah, normally where this jack is, he's played all the balls within 2 feet.
Well, he's Steve back on the green with a visor on. Yeah. Good ball, the cap, somebody shouts. Andrew playing at this one. Just looks over the top. One more to Steve. 19-9, just 2 shots away from that place in the Osprey Waterloo final.
And what a sensible move that was for someone to give him the visor. You see, he's all right now.
Yeah, but he keeps falling over his eyes. Yeah, lady in the crowd coming past him a visor. And once again, he's gone on a different patch of land. Nothing surprising about that, Roy.
Yeah, he's playing thumb peg here. He's turned his back on that as well.
Andrew's played a good ball. Yep. Just probably 18 inches of room there, would you say, Roy?
Yeah, he's got on the other peg here now, Steve. Chance for two.
Yeah, 2 to Andrew, 11-19. Do you think Andrew should do now, Roy?
Well, I think it's desperation stakes, isn't it? You know, Steve's one end away from the final. I think he should go as far as he can.
Well, that's Andrew's strength. Speaking to some of the Merseyside guys,
Right.
and we've seen him this week play well over a distance. He's not really had an opportunity in this game, has he, Roy?
No, he's got a fair distance here, about 45 yards here. All uphill, of course.
Yeah, and he looks all right. Yes, good bowl that. Needs a few more of them. See how that gone in, you think, Roy? One in the crowd says good bowl, lad, but
Yeah.
I'm not convinced.
Well, this is nowhere.
This is not reaching.
No. He needs
Steve
to know
is
now.
asking the ref.
He does need to know.
Yeah,
Well, the
Anthony
bowl of
Bracken
Andy's- bowl of Andy-
shouting, make sure the referee's to the measure.
The bowl of Andy's is smacking the line.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the referee didn't help either player there.
No.
And this is not coming neither. Yeah. I mean, for me, Andrew just looks the straighter bowl, doesn't it,
Yeah,
Roy?
yeah.
They're going to that one first. Now, 3-1.
Yeah.
2011. Now then, Steve. One good lead, and we're in the final.
Going finger peg now, directly towards the north stand, playing about 38 yards here. This is normally a mark that Steve plays really well.
Andrew looks a little bit better line. I'm not quite going to make it, is it? Steve is line one. His bowl's on its way already, Roy.
Got the other peg.
Needs to miss that one. Oh, good bowl. Well, Andrew's got to fetch something out now. He's lying 2 down and Steve wants 1. Only 1, the ref said. Oh, surprised at that, Roy. Looks 2 for me.
I would have thought it was 2. There you go.
Andy's playing at it. Still got his eye on it. Oh, missed all. So Steve Freer is in the final with a 21-11 victory. And just hope he can fully recover, Roy, for the final now, where he's going to be playing the country's number 1.
Yeah, he needs to go and get sat down and get some treatment now, because what a situation that would be if he's unable to carry on with the final. That would be absolutely unprecedented. A walkover in the final, the Waterloo, never happened before.
Well, he's still clearly unsettled. Still clearly unsettled. And he's going to have a sit down in the stand. See Keith Rudman and 1 or 2 are with him, and Steve is certainly unwell at the moment. At least he's got, a short break. I believe there's going to be a few presentations for the juniors and the ladies and so on. Steve just needs to go and find somewhere quiet to sit down, doesn't it? He's gone up the back of the stand. You can see him at the moment. He's head in his hands.
Yeah, I think probably the best thing for him to do would be to find somewhere to lie down flat. That would be, and just put his head on a pillow.
He's just sent for some more water. So for the moment, there's going to be a short break while there's a few presentations, and we'll be back with everything, all the excitement and everything here from the Osprey Waterloo Men's Championships. We'll be back in just a few moments. What we're doing now on the green is the presentations from some of the early events which have been played here at the Waterloo. The first one is the Waterloo Mixed Pairs Champions from West Bromwich Supporters Club. Just coming on the green, Greg Smith and Rachel Bennett to receive their trophies. And there's Greg and Rachel. Greg, a former Junior All England champion, and Rachel, who's really developed into one of the top lady bowlers in the sport. Just lining up for the photographs with the bowls manager, Jimmy Parker. This is part of the tradition at the Waterloo Hotel. All the winners come just before the final every year to receive their awards.
And the next one is the Spring Waterloo, won by Danny Barwise, Liverpool.
The next one on is the Spring Waterloo champion, Merseyside's Danny Barwise. I was here that day and Danny put on a masterclass. And he'll be back a week on Saturday here at the Waterloo for the Champion of Champions.
Danny Barwise.
And Danny receiving a nice round of applause. I'm sure he was willing on his Merseyside teammate, just Andy Hayes, against Stevie Fruit.
Next one is the ladies first. And the winners were Melissa Herbert and Kelly Rose, Birmingham.
Now we have the ladies pairs champions coming on the green. From Birmingham, Melissa Herbert and Kelly Round. Melissa there, treading very gingerly on the green in her high heels. With their trophies. Which, oh dear, calamity. Oh dear, Melissa, what have you done? She's dropped her crystal vase onto the Waterloo and it's smashed in a million pieces. Well, I hope somebody's got a brush to clean that up very quickly and get the glass off the green. Very embarrassed Melissa, oh dear. Jimmy there trying to remove some of the broken glass off the green. I think we're going to have to get that swept up pretty quickly. And coming up next, we're going to have the Junior Waterloo champion, the young 11-year-old Jordan McDermott, son of Dave. It's a real warm round of applause. We were here that day, and what a tremendous performance this young man put up. Really is going to be a star of the future, and such a confident young lad. Even during his interviews and everything, showed a maturity above his age. Well, the ladies Waterloo champion now going on. Katrina Earl. Okay. And I think Keith Rudman now is just going to have a quick interview with the ladies champion pairs, Melissa Herbert and Kelly.
Right, here we go. You're both on here, we're looking over there at this camera here. The ladies pairs winners. Have you entered this regularly, Kelly?
Just once before, a couple of years ago. I went out in the qualifying stages when it used to be a qualifying competition. So,
how many was in the final day when you won it?
Supposed to be 32. I think it was 25, 26 pairs in the end. Right.
So quite a long day.
Yes. Yeah. Good day. Good weather. Good tournament.
And holding the trophies. Well,
one of them.
Mel.
Yes.
Come this way and turn to the camera there. Mel, you're not unused to winning things on here because, of course, you've won the ladies Waterloo as well.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
And you're playing quite a few pairs.
Yeah, we do actually, but more so in Birmingham, not out of county really.
Tell me, is there much ladies pairs up and down? I mean, we don't seem to be a lot up north. Is it better down your way?
No, there's nothing. We don't even have many ladies singles down in our way, except for Chadsmore, which we're really appreciative of Mel and Lynn to keep running year on year, and that's all we've got.
Do you ever enter any of the open pairs? I'll bring you back in a bit here, Kelly. Do you ever enter like open pairs against the men?
No, we haven't. Not to date. No.
But there's a possibility of that.
There is, yeah, but we'd like to and give them a chance really to keep winning these things. We don't want to take over the world just now.
You don't want to take over the world? All right. I'm sure that some people would be happy if you did. So, I mean, do you play in a lot of singles as well, Kelly?
Yeah, but mainly within the Birmingham region. So we've entered the Waterloo this year, which we played in the finals day of Sunday. But again, there's not a lot down there for us to enter, so it's more about travelling and getting about really. Chadsmore is a good one for us.
And are you entered again for next year?
Yes, we are. Well, it's more an invite, Chadsmore. So hopefully Mel will keep inviting us, take pity on us.
I'm sure he will. And you'll be back to defend your title next year?
Hopefully, yeah.
Pleasure to talk to you both.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thanks.
Okay, now just in a moment, Keith Rudman will be going over to for another interview with the mixed pairs champions, Greg Smith and Rachel Bennett from West Bromwich. Just lining up now. Okay, so it's over to Keith Rudman.
Right, I'm here with the Waterloo mixed pairs winners. This is Greg, this is Rachel. Play for the West Brom Supporters Club down in the Midlands there. Greg, how many times have you entered this mixed pairs Waterloo?
Just the first time this year. Just we've won a few competitions locally together, so we decided to come further afield.
Well, that's a fantastic effort. Is this the first time you've ever played on the green as well?
No, I played in the Champions twice after winning the Junior All England.
You won the Junior All England a couple of times, and that's excellent there. What about you, Rachel?
I played here quite a few years ago. I played in the Ladies Champion of Champions, but it's probably about 10, 12 years ago since I've been in it, really, so it's been a long time.
So how come you got playing together then? How come, who asked who to play and what?
Well, Rach asked me to play with her. Well, she's like a mother to me, like, isn't she? So.
Well, she should be delighted to hear that, won't you, Rachel?
Yeah.
Tell me this. Is there a lot of mixed pairs in your neck of the woods, or do you have to travel a little bit? I mean, this competition is so popular, it's probably already full for next year.
Yeah, well, we've won the Warwick Muster ones together, and we won an open one at Pontisbury together as well. But I think the Waterloo is probably the biggest one, other than the All England mixed pairs.
Right, and obviously, if you've won the Junior All England a couple of times, you obviously played a bit. How old are you, if you don't mind asking? Are you out with that age group now?
Yeah, I'm 19 now. I'm 19.
Right, so do you play with the county? Are you?
Yeah, I got in the Warwick Muster seniors when I was 17. I did.
So were you a member of the Warwick Muster team that's just won the county championship?
Yeah, it's second time I've won it. That is.
Brilliant.
3 years, yeah.
Now, tell me this: how does somebody that support Aston Villa play at West Brom Supporters Club? You wouldn't think they'd let you in the place.
I don't know. I got there. I don't know.
You don't have to wear a blue and white stripe.
I've got a club T-shirt with the Hawthorn on, but I can't stand wearing it, to be honest.
So when it's a case of you turn up in your own outfit, you put that on the minute you get off the green, you take it off?
Usually I put a jumper over the top of it, yeah.
And are you a Villa fan over West Brom?
Yes.
You're both Villa fans, and I've never heard anything like it in my life. Villa fans, are you both play at West Brom Supporters Club?
Our Villa shirts down there, but you know.
Right. And are you? Have you any more pairs lined up for the back end? Have you?
We're in the All England ones. We won the Warwick Muster mixed pair, so we qualified for that, which is on the 6th of October.
Where's that played at, Rachel?
Donington Wood.
Donington Wood. So you must be quite hopeful with that.
Well, we'll have to see.
Well, it's been great chatting to you both. Thank you very much. We wish you all the best. I take it you've already entered for next year to defend the title?
That's what I was just going to do today.
Be quick, because it fills up really quick. There you go, the men mixed pairs Waterloo winners. It's back over to Mel in the commentary box.
Okay, thanks you, Keith there, who was with the Waterloo Mixed Pairs champion this year, Greg Smith and Rachel Bennett. We're just waiting for the final to commence. Gary Ellis is on the green here, having a practice. Steve Freer, I believe, has just been taken just out the back of the stadium. He's been having a lie down for the last 10 minutes, just trying to get his health situation correct. Andrew Cairns is back up with me. Andrew, have you ever seen anything like that before at the Waterloo? Anyone taken ill?
I've seen people taken ill elsewhere, but not at this sort of stage of such a prestigious competition. It's a very strange one. I'm glad he carried on, and obviously he was well enough to continue and to win. But it's just got to be a bit worrying in the before the biggest game of his career, he's taken poorly like that. It just seems a bit of a shame, really.
Yeah, I mean, clearly when he came back on, although he won his game, he clearly was not 100%. But I say now, before the final commences, Keith Rudman is with Jimmy Parker, the Bowls manager. So we'll have a quick interview with Jim, and then hopefully the final will commence. So it's over to Keith Rudman.
Right, I'm here with the Bowls manager here at this very famous venue, the Waterloo Hotel. Jimmy, how's it been this year? Looks like, according to things, more entries.
Yeah, we got a few more entries with the new format, Keith. It works, simple as that. Less travelling for people, less visits. One or two of the spectators might not like it, but certainly the players did. So,
from a player's point of view, I'm delighted that you've gone back to the 5 on the card, Jimmy.
Yeah, people like Tommy Johnson have been bickering with me for 10 years about it, and I thought Tommy was likely to win it, having minded about it. But yeah, I mean, what it has made, it's made it a lot easier for us in the week to run it. We know time-wise, we're not going till 6 o'clock at night, and that it's perfect for the spectators, and everyone can get to Martin, who we all got to Martin. And
was the feeling behind it, Jimmy, that a lot of people say, no disrespect to anybody, but it gives the lesser player a bit of a chance against the top names?
Well, some have said that, Keith. To be truthful, the reason I did it was because I wanted less visits for the players. The actual cost of travelling to the place is, petrol's really expensive, and by doing that and having 2 games rather than 1 game, you know, we could alleviate a visit, and it certainly seems to go down well with players.
I mean, despite what the economic climate and the adverse weather we've had over what's been a horrendous summer, looks a fair crowd in today, Jimmy. It looks a few more people than last year.
Yeah, it's about 300 in Keith, I think, you know, today. You know me, Keith.
That's for tax purposes, Jimmy. There's at least treble that.
Yeah, there's probably about 900 here, Keith. Yeah, it's a real good crowd. I'm happy with it, you know. The new seating that we've put in from, that's not new, but from Lancashire Cricket Club, you know, it's made it a lot better for the people sat down. Whether this stand survives another year, I don't know, but it's just a continuous struggle. We all know that, but we will battle on.
Well, I mean, you do a marvellous job to keep it going, Jimmy, and I'm sure everybody around here is grateful, no more than myself. I mean, talking about the seats over there, they're absolutely fantastic. I mean, I sat in them. I noticed you've took a few out, gives people a bit more space to stretch out. And comfort's one thing, because they're here for a long number of time watching games of bowls.
Well, that was one thing that people said. When I first come 10 years ago, people always said, these seats are awful, you can't sit in them all day, and it's true, you couldn't. With these seats now, we've got, you know, 500 less than we had last year in. The stand looks pretty full now. You know, I think Champion of Champions Day, it will be full. And you know, the people are seeing the benefit of it.
Just give me a little update. Obviously, we had a little incident in that second semi-final with Steve Freer. We wish you all the best. Any news update on that? We're probably slightly delayed on the final due to that.
Well, I've just seen Steve coming in now. It looks like he's just coming down there. He's got a cap on now. I think the sun might have been affecting him. He was having a bit of a migraine. He was struggling to see. Quite a few of us can't put him that near when we can see what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I think he's all right now.
Well, we wish you all the best, because at the end of the day, as much as prestige there is with this tournament, it's a great thing. Health's more important than anything else, and we don't want anything adverse down here.
I mean, great, you know, plaudits to Andy Hayes. You know what I mean? Andy come off the green and said, look, take your time, and you know, you're playing at semi-final at Waterloo. It's a big event to most people, you know, and you know, great plays must go to Andy for bearing with him in that respect.
Yeah, I think that's a great valid point there. I've been in that position myself once. It's never easy when you're on the, you know, you want to get on with your game, but some things are more important than the game of bowls or any sport, really, Jimmy. As we saw even in football terms at Tottenham Hotspur earlier on this year with somebody collapsing on the pitch. So we don't want any of that, and the longer he takes and gets himself right, then because this promised to be a great final with Gary Ellis.
I think it should be a great final. Yeah, what was quite interesting was I went up to Gary actually when Steve wasn't well. I said, the rumour is Gary supposedly always has sand in his back pocket that he chucks in people's eyes, and I wondered whether that was the case, you know.
Tell everyone that's a joke. We don't want any letters coming in for that. So, Jimmy, the plans are obviously next weekend's a massive weekend. You've got the Taylor's Tour on the Friday.
Yeah, new event, Taylor's Tour. It's been really successful. I think it's going to be twice as big next year. We're going to have a Northern and a Southern Tour, and of course the Champion of Champions weekend.
And the strength of that Taylor's Tour is the man that's topped the points table is Paul Bailey that we've seen here playing in the semi-final today.
Yeah, Paul's had quite a big finish to the year. You know, he really has. He gets invited to Portugal with that, and you know.
Well done. And then, of course, after the Taylor's Tour on the Friday, we have the Men's Champion of Champions followed by the Ladies Champion of Champions.
Yeah, Media Box are sponsoring the Champion of Champions this year. Great to have a new company involved with it, and it should just be a great weekend.
Well, we wish you all the best for that, Jimmy. Just remember that if you can get here for that weekend, it promises to be an absolute festival of bowls. That's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. So the best players in the game will be competing. Many congratulations on another superb performance with the Waterloo here, Jimmy. We hope it continues for many years.
Yeah, so do I, Keith.
And with that, we're back to Mel up there in the commentary box as we're just waiting for Steve to come back out, but I'm assured it won't be long. Like we said, the main thing is that he's okay. So back over to Mel up there in the commentary box.
Okay, Keith, thanks for that. And Jimmy, back here with Andrew Cairns now. Gary's still just having a practice. We have seen Steve Freer down below. He's just down at the club. I think he's recovered slightly, Andrew, hasn't he? But he's still not looking 100%, is he?
He didn't look too clever. He had a cap on and he was asking for some sunglasses, and obviously there's something not right, and he certainly won't be at his best to play Gary. And as we've just been talking off air, you know, it puts Gary in an awkward situation. He doesn't know what's happening. He's just practicing. He'll just carry on as normal. Just another final for Gary. But it is a very, very strange situation. This game should have started 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and Steve's still not on the green at the moment.
I mean, he's not practiced, but that isn't a major thing, really. I mean, he's only been off the green, 20 minutes, which isn't that long. But No, it's a strange one, is this? It's unprecedented, I would say.
Yeah, it's the first in the Waterloo's been going now. This is the 104th year. And I just said off air as well, first time I've not seen one of the finalists go on for a little bit of a practice. The referee and Jimmy Parker are speaking to Gary. I don't know if there's going to be a further delay. But from our position, we don't actually know what's going on, but there's a lot of conversations being held at the moment, and there's no sign of Steve Freer.
No. And Gary's shrugging his shoulders. That's about right. Gary just won't even think about this.
He's just got to be completely. He's got to be. Gary's just got to be completely focused. There's a bit of disruption in the crowd now, and they want to know what's going on. Well, obviously, you know, it's difficult circumstances, isn't it? You know.
Well, absolutely, they'll be wanting to go for their tea at 4:30, won't they?
Jimmy Parker is, you know, trying to find out if Steve's okay to play the final, and
he's trying to. He can't say anything until he knows himself, and he needs to speak to Steve really.
Yeah.
Find out what the situation is. But,
and there's somebody in the crowd.
They're getting very afraid now.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of slow hand clapping, which is a little bit unfair. I mean, as Jimmy Parker just trying to calm down some of the crowd. Just trying to say what's going on. And nobody seems to know at the moment. We're just going to go over and have a quick interview. I think Keith Rudman's with Tommy Ellis, Gary's father. See what Tommy's take on it is.
See you here. Obviously, you go everywhere supporting your Gary. Are you surprised by his rise to prominence? I mean, his success over the last few years is phenomenal, Tom.
Absolutely surprised. I mean, there's no way I ever dreamed he'd be as good as he is in any way, you know. But he's just got better and better. He's a lucky lad, got a fantastic temperament, and everything's right about his game. So it's coming together and it showed up, you know.
I mean, what I like about him, the way I see him play, is he's thoroughly professional, takes nothing for chance. And the way he's down here in the morning practicing, he's on at dinner when everybody else has gone out. Everybody has that option, but he seems dedicated to it.
Well, when he's got spare time, Keith, and he's doing now, he's on a green somewhere practicing. Because what he reckons it's like, so you've got to be sending balls, and it's work for him. You know what I mean?
What do you? I mean, of all the things he's won, and he's won everything more than once. What do you think's his greatest win, Tom?
Well, I mean, 3 Waterloos is unbelievable, really, isn't it? You know, he's 39 now, but he's 3 Waterloos is unbelievable. And I thought the last All England was superb, Keith. I thought the day was superb. I thought the bowling was superb, and luckily he won it. You know, those are probably the best, really.
I mean, he stands on he's 1 game away from making it 4 Waterloos, which would only be 1 behind Brian Duncan, which would be phenomenal.
Never dreamt of it, you know, in any way, really. Because at first, you know, when he played on here, he didn't like the green.
Did he not?
He didn't really like it. Same with the rakes, and he's won the rakes and everything on there as well. I said, you just got to go with it all the time, like, you know, and he's learnt it. That's the thing, and unbelievable.
Did you play yourself, Tom? Is that how you got into the game, or?
I was very ordinary though, Keith. You know,
right.
Just an ordinary league player. And then the good thing about this game is there's so many different levels for people to enjoy it, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it at my level, but I never ever dreamt he'd be anything like he is, you know.
It must give you great satisfaction to be sat here and watching him play and the achievements that he's done.
Unbelievable, Keith, honestly. It's never ending, really. He's a lucky lad, and I'm lucky to have him, you know.
Well, I'm sure the respect is mutual between you both, Tom. Tom, it's fantastic talking to you. Obviously, we've got a slight delay here with a slight illness to Steve Freer, which we hope Steve's all right. Gary's just obviously keeping his hand in here. Are you a man that has a bet now, Tom? Have you gone past that? You just like watching him win?
He's won 16 handicaps this year, and I've only backed him once, Keith. Mainly because he's not been a price. You know, I don't believe in going and sticking money on somebody at 6-4 when there's 16 quality players. But that's the way it is. He's won that much this year. He's been that kind of price wherever they've gone. So, like I say, I've not even backed him here.
I mean, as far as the betting goes and that, I think he's up there paralleling with Duncan in the 1 to 3 in the semi-final. Duncan's the only other man I ever remember being at that sort of thing.
Well, I think they're trying to compare now. I don't think you can really compare. It's a different generation and everything. And Brian Duncan was fantastic. I mean, I've seen a lot of him, absolutely. But I still believe today, in my heart of hearts, that there's even more good players about today than what there was then.
Yep.
Which makes things harder to win. I do, honestly. People say otherwise, but I believe there is.
Well, the one thing that I can say about Gary is, from my experience, is he's probably one of the best ambassadors this sport's ever had.
He is definitely. He's a good lad in every way. He's brilliant, and I'm really proud of him. Really proud.
Okay, we'll have to go now because we're going back up there. So thanks a lot, Tom. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Okay, lad. Thank you.
The lad has had problems in the past, and I think the main thing is that Steve Freer is okay, which is great. He is. But unfortunately, he's not going to be a better player in the final.
Well, I don't know if any of you have heard that announcement.
So we're going to have to do a presentation now of the last 8, and the winner of the Waterloo is going to be G Ellis.
If you've heard any of that, but really sad news that Steve Freer is too unwell to play in the final of the Waterloo. This is obviously an amazing situation, really, but Steve Freer's health is more important than anything else, that the young man's okay. The trophy and the title has been awarded to G Ellis. What a sad occasion, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm actually stuck for words at the minute. I feel really upset for the guy. I know what it's like to be in a Waterloo final. It's the pinnacle of anyone's career, and he must feel absolutely dreadful that it's been taken away from him. You can't help your health. That's got to come first. It's paramount. And if he's unable to play, it's just a sickener all round. And I think all the people in the stadium really feel sorry for him. But just hope he's okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, when the announcement took place, Steve had a warm round of applause. It's a difficult situation, totally unprecedented in the sport. I've never ever known any Crown Green final not being played at any level. But as we said, Steve's health is the most important. He was clearly in trouble.
Yeah,
at
quickly,
13.
Jimmy. Obviously, tragic news about Steve not being able to come out for the final. But as you pointedly said, it's about somebody's health here. It's more important than a game of bowls.
Yeah, exactly, Keith. I mean, the lad's in pieces in there. I mean, his mate Ant Brocken, who we all know, he's with him, and he said, Jimmy, I said, if I give you half an hour, will he be able to play? If I give you an hour, he says, I can't go out on the green. He says, I just can't do it.
No, the lad when he came off said he wasn't good, and that's tragic. And I think the crowd's been quite understanding, but it's a tragic way to end the final, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting stick off the crowd, but there's out I can do about it. The lad's in a bad way, and his health must be the most important thing. I'm sorry, but it gives Gary another Waterloo.
Well, that's immaterial today. Thanks, Jimmy. Let's get on with the presentation. Absolutely right. It's about somebody's health here, and that's far, far more important. Last thing we want is anybody collapsing on a bowling green. So it's more important that we do that. So I'll hand you back to Mel up there in the commentary box, or Andy, as they do the presentations.